let's hit it. All right, so this is episode number 315 of the Clevelandmoto podcast. We'd like to have we'd like to extend a laurel and a hearty handshake to all of our people that are following us on Twitch. So one of us is going to be monitoring the Twitches, and every time you Twitch, somebody will say something. So there you go. Feel free.
You Twitch, we Twitch, you Twitch.
And we'll all Twitch together. I saw that Kromke's holding up a noble beast.
Yeah, I got a crowler of their Southpaw to try.
Yeah, and that's those guys are also sponsoring. No relation between Noble Beast Brewing and our friend Steve Noble, but they're all working together as part of the Moto Go project to support getting shop class back into schools by taking the shop class to the kids. You know, either getting them these visible V8 models that they could build with the pistons that go uppity duppity and the valves that open and closes, or getting in a CB350s in trailers delivered to where the children are and force young children to take apart CB350s, unlike in Thailand where they force small children to put CB350s together. So,
yeah, I bought some raffle tickets for their fundraiser from Moto Go today.
For the Gilera?
Yeah. I bought all three just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Just to give them some money. Absolutely.
Yeah, I kicked them $500 the other day. To just be a supporter of the whole program. Why not? I might be broken down on the side of the road someday and some young child might come and rescue my ass. So that'd be cool. I'm totally down with that.
Only if you're on a CB350.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be on the side of the road with a CB350 and some, 15-year-old comes along and goes, "Hey, we work on those at school." So just like I did when I was 15 years old and I saw a Volkswagen Beetle on the side of the road, I'd be like, I know how to work on that. So that's that. So who else has got anything exciting to report in their beverage choices? Anyone have anything cool or exotic?
Got some peach and apricot platform.
Shit, Pinky's up on that one. Mm-hmm. Wow, peach and apricot in the same drink? We know who's got the frilly underwear.
I have my homegrown tomatoes that I'm hanging out with, so I got some of that going on. So that's cool.
that's your homegrown tomato product.
A little small,
They're real short tomatoes. I like the way Hoffert and McElfresh were frozen, and they were frozen in the. You have to bring out that little dick icon later.
Well, I'm going to have to, I don't think you were here before when we were talking about it when we first got on, but I'm going to have to make a double-ended one because, there's two of them.
Yeah, exactly. The floating hot dog thing. Yeah.
You're going to touch pipes or tubes. Tube touch.
I probably could just run in the house and get one.
Wait a second. We'll make it interesting.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we knew this was a problem because once they started working together and they became part of the same COVID pod, COVID goes into their work environment and gets tackled by this various different strains of E. coli.
They have a little cage where they keep the Ebola and they feed it every once in a while.
That's called the contact tank. That's where the bad germs come in contact with the good germs.
The good germs?
Yeah. They eat them. The good germs eat them.
You're in there feeding the good bacteria?
Yeah.
Yep. Man.
I feed them like 2 or 3 times a day, a raw dump right into the toilet.
The plants still can't take it.
If I shit and I run outside fast enough, I can watch it come into the stream. We're talking about like maybe trying to find a way to recycle some of the food. Like we got the market cornered on corn.
We've been selling that to IGA already.
We started saving the bacon grease and melting it down.
You're going to sell pre-owned corn?
Pre-chewed.
Lightly used corn.
Just don't do moonshine, please. Don't.
We figure it can go through 5 cycles before it breaks totally down.
I mean, this time of year, everybody's on their health kick, so we got all kinds of undigested lettuce coming through the bar screen and everything. Still green, little wilted, kind of small pieces.
Somebody threw away some perfectly good broccoli. Oh, that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible.
We just put it in a box and send it to millennials.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So in the motorcycle news, Triumph did officially announce their 2021 Bonneville range. So they've announced that there's a whole new Bonneville action. Now, Moto Guzzi also did announce some changes for the Moto Guzzi line, and with Triumph announcing changes to the Bonneville line, this is kind of exciting. You know, there's going to be some new crap out there, if nothing else. With the Bonneville, did anybody find anything that is actually different for the 2021 Bonneville, different than the 2020?
I found some info that said they've got upgraded instrumentation and it's got built-in Bluetooth now.
Okay.
I didn't look up anything Bonneville related because Dan distracted me with that Trident 660, and I started looking at that and watching videos, and I was like, whoa, look at this.
Yeah, I kind of wonder why. I mean, I understand why they made that a 660. They make a 675, and it's probably the same casting.
Okay.
Well, they were saying, though, that bike actually is not anything like the 675 Street Triple, and it was actually specifically built. It's all pretty much proprietary. It's built around the A2 restrictions in Britain. And in fact, they even have a kit that you can restrict that bike, legally ride it on your beginners or A2 permit. Okay. And then once you've passed your permit, and then I don't know who unlocks the bike for you. If you get a piece of paper and then you can take it into the dealer, but then they will de-restrict it and let you go have fun.
All right. That makes sense. And I know there's a ton of motorcycles that have that where they'll be under a certain horsepower limit for the more entry-level market. So many manufacturers will build two different versions of the exact same motorcycle so that they can have a motorcycle to sell to that entry-level market. So, yeah, it makes perfect sense. All the way down for in mine, he's literally the bottom square. So if this were the game of Hollywood squares, the number 6 square at this point.
Well, and Nick has to strap on his lisp so he could be Paul, whatever his name was, like say.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because Nick absolutely has the center square, the desirable center square.
Paul Lynn. The guy's name was Paul Lynn.
Paul Lynn, absolutely.
Congratulations, Nick. You're in the center of the circle jerk.
Nice.
You are the center, or you are the circle in the square. What do they used to call it? The center.
Circle gets a square.
Here's a bukkake.
Square gets a circle. Right. Circle gets a square. But more importantly, he is the ever so important pivot man on the circle jerk. That's when you got to switch and go back the other way.
He's just there to lend you a hand in case you get tired.
Well, you know, it's the old downhill skier thing. Right. You know? So tell me a little bit more about the Trident 660, because I am curious about that. I like the idea.
It looks like a gorgeous bike. They really did some nice stuff, and they said that this was targeted at a new buyer type market. So what they wanted the bike to really look nice, because and not to gloss over, it does have some very good technical features and everything, but it was like, we really want the styling to be right. We want it to look good, because these are going to be people who may not know a whole lot about, what a superb bike is other than it looks good,
Yeah, I think it makes like 70 horsepower.
80.
And it weighs just
80 horsepower, 60 foot-pounds of torque. And it
weighs just over 400 pounds wet.
That's
380 with dry or something like that.
Okay, that's pretty cool, because, again, we all talked about, some people think that inline 3 cylinders are magic. Some people think they're the devil. But I'm looking at those numbers, and those numbers all look like that's pretty legit. What's funny is, again, another motorcycle that's tuned for the mid-range. We know that a 600cc motor can produce 100 angry horsepowers. It's dry weight.
90% of the torque is available all the way across the torque. That you're only getting 10% more torque when you rev it to the red line.
It's not light. I mean, it weighs more than a Moto Guzzi 750.
So did Triumph say, did they eliminate any Bonnevilles?
It looked like they had maybe five different Bonnevilles.
I heard a rumor they're eliminating the Thruxton R and the Scramble.
Yeah, and I would definitely agree with that, because I did not see in their demo, I didn't see any new Thruxtons.
Oh my God! Look at the price.
Yeah.
Wow.
Under $8,000.
No.
That Speed Triple 1200 at 18.3, but that's the RS. And what they're doing with these RSs, I think maybe they're trying to still build the RSs in England. So there'll be quite a heavy price jump in some of those bikes that are still built in England. So that will be a thing. It'll be something that we're all aware of.
So is this new? The Tiger 900?
What is my choice?
Tiger 900, yeah, that's
What do you rate?
that's just a new iteration of an older bike.
Yeah, because it used to be the 850. Okay.
Look at that price jump. Boy, go back there. See that price jump from $11,995, so 12 grand to 14,700. So what is costing $2,700 more dollars in that bike, right?
So are these 2021s or 2020s?
Those look like 2020s.
Really?
I'm seeing. Yeah, but that looks like a 2021. Yeah. Well, again, we're going to have somebody help us crack the Triumph code. Now is not a great time to be a Triumph dealer, because what I will tell you is, guess what you'd have to have in your showroom right now? All this stuff.
Yeah, right.
All of it.
All of it. So, how many tigers you got? Oh, I got an entire fucking big cat house full of fucking tigers,
I thought you were going to say customers.
Yeah. I mean, that's the challenge, is anytime a motorcycle manufacturer branches out into a whole lot of different subversions of the same bike. And we know for a while that there were like 9 different versions of Bonneville. That's really challenging to a dealer. Now, a Bonneville's not so bad. They're pretty affordable to sell. There's a decent margin on them. So the Bonneville's not the worst thing to have. But when you've got 9 different versions of Tigers, those things are expensive. And that, literally gets to the point where it's like, oh man, it's the snowflake principle of like, oh, I got to have the bike that's just perfect for me. And that bites you in the ass, because your manufacturer's going to make you take all these bikes. And
one of the things Steve and I were talking about is like, we see the future where the bike will literally be made for you. They'll have the designs and everything like that.
yeah.
But most, like the bulk of the bike, maybe the engine and drivetrain and frame will be pre-built, but all your bodywork and stuff will get printed for you.
Yeah.
And or your brackets for your foot pegs and stuff, that'll all be custom to the rider. And Kawasaki's already doing that.
That's right.
On what is it? Their Vulcan, the small Vulcan.
Small Vulcans. Yeah. You can order the small Vulcan with about 18 different permutations. So when the bike gets to you, it's already been fit to you.
Here's a question I have.
Been vulcanized.
How much do you think it would cost for a bike manufacturer down where the foot pegs mount? Because most of the places have like 2 holes where, it goes in and holds the foot peg in, or maybe 1 on occasion or something.
Right.
Why couldn't they put like 3 different levels, like high, medium, and low? It couldn't.
Have you seen the Super Hawk? I'd like to introduce you to the Super Hawk.
Well, no,
It's a great idea, man.
Yeah,
There's actually 3 different cogged holes.
Yep.
So you can put the foot peg in 3 different places.
Yep.
And you can rotate the foot peg in 360 degrees any way you want it in either of those 3 holes.
Right.
Yeah, that was cutting edge technology in 1964.
But then they dropped it, and now you get stuck with these things, and you have to pay $200 for night engineering fucking lowered foot pegs, and all you back in the day you burned it.
Nick's holding one up its actual size.
The night engineering stuff is fantastic. Plus, the pegs are like 3 times bigger than a standard peg.
Yeah, no, they're good. But it's expensive as shit, though. You're just paying.
Those are adjustable. They could be an inch, you can adjust them up an inch or down an inch.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that exists in the world. So like the difference between buying the standard Moto Guzzi V7, and this is just me talking from my own personal background experience, the difference between buying the standard V7 Moto Guzzi and buying the V7 Cafe Racer is the V7 Cafe Racer, all the pegs, everything was fully adjustable. So you could have a size 8 ballet slipper all the way up to a size 14 steel toe, and you could adjust that to fit your boot or your foot or your riding position. Otherwise, the standard V7, it was more like, well, this is what it is. It's, it's stamped out of steel, and here's where it's going to be. Minor adjustments only. So
Cool.
yeah, so it did look to me. So when I did see that release video or the secret snail, it did. Like I said, Bluetooth. Again, people say the word Bluetooth, and I start to fade out. Like when we were all standing in the Suzuki booth, and the guy was like, "Well, it's got push button starting," and we all kind of went, "Big fucking deal! Turn a key, press a button, man." I mean, so wait, now I don't have to turn the key? Who cares? But like,
I think you still have to turn a key and press the button. It's just how long you don't have to hold the button.
Exactly. So it'll take over for you on your own. But the strange thing about Bluetooth is we have now had some experience with different Bluetooth systems on different bikes. And what it's funny is the thing is everyone comes in asking about, like, do I have Bluetooth pairing available on this bike? What the fuck do you want to know? Like, are you looking for skid pad data on your Bonneville?
It's not hooking to your sound system. It's not going to play you tunes or anything.
No, it's not. And it's not also going to say, like, trigger the left turn signal to answer your wife's text. No, that's not how it works. It doesn't, hit the right turn signal button to take a picture of you on your motorcycle and update it to Facebook. It doesn't do that. That's not what it does. You can't press another button and a display map like Batman's Batmobile comes up on the dashboard to tell you where you are and where the next Triumph dealership is. Vespa does that.
And Zero.
But it doesn't. I mean, it says it does, but it doesn't. We haven't been able to make one of them do it yet in America. But it is a funny thing that people ask about it, but then when they have it, they never fucking use it. So
it does make a lot of sense, though, on a Zero, though, right? Because you can step into the bike and check your charging and stuff like that. And
actually, no. I mean, I ride them all the time. Ask Steve if he ever plugs his fucking. Do you ever plug your phone in and hook it up on the dashboard of your bike?
Nope.
No, me either.
I ride. I don't use my phone at all when I ride. I mean, the only thing I use it for maybe is to listen to music.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and that's when I'm not around anybody. But it's ridiculous. It's like most of the time I don't even want to have music because I like to ride.
Yeah, I don't take my phone and clip it to the handlebars and go, ooh, now I have 7 more channels of information to look at. Because that's what Zero does. Like Zero through the app can give you 7 or 12 more channels of information that you can decide what you want there.
I mean, it's just silly when you see these guys flying down the highway, taking a selfie and posting it to Facebook.
What's wrong with that? You got a problem with that?
Wait, are you talking about the Clevelandmoto, like cold ride to work today at 78 miles an hour?
The only thing I would like to see with the Bluetooth connection is if it had like OBD2 diagnostic thing, so that it has a diagnostic tool. So if your bike wasn't running right, you could pull it up and say, "Oh, okay, a number 3 cylinder is not firing correctly."
Or if you could actually tune your bike with it, you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, I can download this map and plug it right into my bike from my phone. That would be.
There are some funny things when it comes to the Zeros. It's pretty funny that. Oh my God, that is hilarious. My phone was literally just recording me say everything that I just said there.
Well, that's the one that was beeping. Okay, yeah, I heard. So the Zero had the modes, right? I mean, you can probably select those from the phone, but you have it on your touchscreen or your little selector thingy on the. It's just the 3 or 4 options. I mean, why would you?
The funny thing about the Zeros is the Zero does actually give you the ability to fine tune it, and even weird things like if you take the incandescent light bulbs out of your turn signals and you put in LED light bulbs, there are things in the Zero setup menu that you can go in and tell your bike not to look for an incandescent bulb, but instead to look for a LED bulb. And so it'll change the flash rate and also prevent you from getting CAN bus error codes. And that's built into some of the parameters inside a Zero. That's actually kind of clever.
Well, and that was one of the nice things about that Trident 660, since it was being kind of targeted towards new riders, is it had a 3-mode traction control but you can also turn it off. So once you get good at it, you can select rain mode to keep you safe and everything. But say you want to pull it, and they literally said, if you want to pull the front wheel up, you could actually turn it off.
Yep, exactly. So I think that's it. But I wonder if the Bluetooth stuff, I do know that some of the companies they've incorporated a lot of things into the Bluetooth thing because it is very much, it's just a thing that people can ask for. And I mean, I also
read that they standardized their instrumentation across the line.
Good. That's fantastic. I mean, that's one of those things that getting the same cluster on, if you've got 9 Bonnevilles, they should all have the same cluster. And we've seen that in a lot of different manufacturers. You're like, okay, the bike that costs $100 less doesn't have a tack. It's just one single gauge. And it is silly. It's like, just give all the bikes the same gauges, but
I actually would make the argument that it's silly that a lot more bikes don't come standard with a little bit of a sound system. I mean, a little tiny 50-watt amp and a nice single mono neodymium speaker tucked somewhere up in the front of the bike, and you could have, you could have some tunes while you're riding.
Yep. But for $7, you can go on eBay and get one of those cheap, intercoms. I don't use mine for an intercom. I just have it to play music. It was $7.
Yeah, that's true. An interesting thing about some of the motorcycles that we're seeing coming up in this year is many of the motorcycle companies aren't retuning or redesigning the engines to make more power and things like that, but they're really doing it to match EPA standards. And they're doing it to match as the European market changes their EPA standards. A lot of things are happening right now where companies are saying, okay, we're now going to have more bikes that conform to that, as opposed to the 3 motors we had last year. Now we've got 9 motors. And that's something that I did notice in the Triumph field is there's a lot more versions of Triumph motorcycles now. There's a lot more than just a 2-cylinder, 900 and a 2-cylinder 1200, and then a 600 and a 1200 on top of that, multi-cylinder bikes. So it is interesting to see that more companies are being aware of what's needed in different markets. So for emission standards.
Rewinding it just a second to talk about what John brought up a minute ago. Why don't so pretty much any car that you buy now from like 2000, well, even back to like 2008 to 9, whatever, has the ODB2 on it, right?
Right.
And for $30, you can go online and get like a shitty little fucking thing you plug in there and it goes to your phone and you get software. I mean, it's not as good as like a $2,000 thing, but it'll at least tell you what the hell the error code is. It lets you reset it, like, all that kind of shit. How come motorcycles haven't adapted something like that? Like, why is there no sensor that you can just plug in and say, oh, my fuel injectors are fucked or my left turn signal is dying or whatever,
Yep. And what's funny is we were joking. We were like, even the Zero SRF and the SRS, which are the most technologically advanced things that are designed to work Bluetooth through your laptop or through your app they still have a freaking OBD2 port. So like, why did Zero do that? They stuffed an OBD2 port on an electric motorcycle. And I have hooked up my Harbor Freight OBD2 scanner to that freaking port. And it will send you P codes that you would expect to get out of your like 1996 Dodge van. And if you have them, if you're throwing those particular codes, it'll shoot them out at you.
Now, though, is a Zero CAN bus?
Yes. Yeah. So they are, I mean, there's different things. Did you see that KTM now is offering a CAN bus sort of an accessory stick?
Oh.
Did you guys see about that?
No,
what KTM has done is they've admitted that their customers like to add shit to their motorcycles.
Well, I thought they admitted that their motorcycles run like shit, so they needed to diagnose them all the time.
No, the whole idea was they literally make a stick, and that stick is there so you can plug it into the bike, and it will basically give you ports that you can feed in accessories that will now be part of a CAN bus stick, an actual junction or a hub, if you will.
So that's actually a really good idea.
It's a good idea. And it really is, because what happens is as people want to add more shit to their motorcycles, but the manufacturer doesn't give you fun or compliant ways to add things in, well, you start fucking the system up. We guys who work on motorcycles will know there'll always be that phone call you get, or the guy that brings the bike in and says, well, it's really weird when I go out on the road and I turn my turn signals on, my speedometer turns on and turns off. My speedometer little flashes on or flashes off while the turn signal's on. And I'm like, well, what happened? That's a guy who's cut his factory turn signals off and put on LEDs. And what happens in a lot of the bikes is they will actually interpret that because the flash unit is not out in the back of the motorcycle. The flash unit is built into the freaking speedometer. And I think McElfresh, didn't you have to work on a couple of bikes that had that?
That was what was it? The one Vespa, the really nice XP9 or whatever.
Yeah, the X9. Yeah,
the Vespa X9 and
500cc fuel injected, but the fucking speedometer
tore the whole bike apart. Took all the bodywork off.
Couldn't find a flash unit.
There's got to be a flasher relay somewhere. It was because the symptom was the right front turn signal was out and would not work, and it was like, well, how could this be? And it narrowed it down to like it just goes into the speedometer. We ended up having to change out the cluster.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what fixed it.
And we found that now in a whole lot of motorcycles. So you're like, oh well, I think something's fucked up. My turn signals don't work. It could be water got into the frickin' speedometer. We've had Yamaha motorcycles or Kawasaki motorcycles where water got into the speedometer cluster and roached out where the flash unit lives. And you pull
you know what was written on the back of that cluster? Syntech.
Absolutely.
It was. It literally was.
It was a Syntech. Absolutely. And you look at that shit and you're like, fuck. And so now to fix a turn signal problem, you've got a $900 cluster, as opposed to a $16 turn signal relay or a $9 turn signal relay. Son of a bitch, man. But that's modern bikes. So you got to watch out for that shit. Dan, what did you learn about the Honda CB350?
Yeah, I had my VPN set to some Indian and Japanese servers today, and they introduced this bike in October 2020. They sold 10,000 units just in India in 3 months.
10,000 bikes inside of 3 months? Jesus Christ. Well,
that must mean it's competing well with like the Bullet 350 or the Royal Enfield.
And it's not cheap. I mean, I looked at the pricing on it. It's not like they're giving the bike away. It's more expensive than the Royal Enfield 350.
Yeah, it's like 5,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not a cheap bike, and it looks fantastic. I mean, it really does. It's got like the spoke, the wheels have the right number of spokes. Like it doesn't look like a shitty cheap bike. Like everything about it. Dan's got it in his background, and it does not look like a low quality machine. I mean, it looks the business. It looks like a CB1100.
Yeah, that's a single cylinder, right?
Yep.
Parallel twin.
The big difference is that's a single cylinder. Yeah. So if you jump on that after coming off a Royal Enfield that is signing off at 5,000 to 6,000 RPM,
right? Yeah,
and you jump on that and you wick it up to 10 grand, you're probably like, hoo-wee.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day out, I think. It's a real handsome bike. I would assume that we're going to be getting it here in America only out of the whole thing of like it has done well in its home market, so let's give it a shot in America. But I initially thought no. I originally thought we weren't going to get it.
We already have it. We might as well just send some over there and see what happens.
Yeah, that's it.
Although right now, I mean, just looking at motors, like I was looking at CB 500s and stuff like that. I mean, UCB 500, $3,500. I mean, like well under $4,000 with almost no miles on them, and there's plenty to choose from.
Yeah. Yep.
The beginner bike market right now is it's so on fire. It's so great, and once again though, it's like the Japanese manufacturers are the ones who are actually putting bikes out there to get people riding again. And maybe someday, if Harley survives 10 years from now, those people might migrate, but I don't think they will, because I think they're going to be, once they bought a Japanese bike and enjoyed that performance and reliability, the new crop isn't going to migrate to Harley, I don't think.
Yeah, but what is Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go, Steve.
I was going to say that isn't there some stat that the first bike you ride is the brand you're loyal to? Like in the majority of people, it's like the first bike you have is the brand you're loyal to for like your life.
I agree.
Something to that effect.
Yep.
I don't doubt that at all. 100%. But you guys were talking about Harley. Did you guys see that Indian just released 6 new models and they redesigned everything? And I hate to say it, but I don't know if you've seen them or not. Harley's got to work really hard because the Indian, I've never wanted that kind of a bike, and the Indians look good, man. Have you guys seen these things yet?
Yeah, they do look good.
Yeah, check these bad boys out. Let me get this sucker up here. Hold on, look at this thing. So they have a whole bunch of new models, but even that's nice. And then that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
I hate bikes with bobtails.
Yeah, but look at that. That's a nice looking bike. That's like what Harley should be doing, but they keep fucking up. So they have, look at that. They have 6 new bikes. Look at all the pictures. Look at this. That's a quality looking bike, man.
Yeah, but put a real rear fender on it.
That's a good looking, I wouldn't mind staring over that. Look at that.
From Harley.
I think they all follow it in, worship.
Well, this is like what a Harley should look like. To be honest with you, I don't know. Just all right. Anyways, yeah. So
Yeah, we agree. I would say that if I had to buy something, I'd prefer an Indian because I just think an Indian motor is going to be better than any Harley. The Indian's been cleaning Harley's clock in any of these stupid challenges like the Bagger Challenge or anything like that. And I just think that, I'd rather have an Indian than a Harley any day.
have you? The one day that my buddy Mark wanted to go and check out bikes, big brand new bikes, we went out to Johnny K's Motorsports out in Alliance, and we went to their giant mall store, and we were sitting on all the stuff. And I have to admit, there's one sales guy, I think we talked about him before, his name was Jesse James, cool guy. He showed us around, and the Indians, when you sit on them, they're a quality fucking bike. Like their touring bike had electronic windshield, a full sound system already built into it. All the locks worked together. It had a universal thing on the key where you hit it and it would unlock your fucking baggage in the back. If you're paying $23,000 for a cruiser or 28, whatever the hell it was, and you're looking at the Harley, which is the same price, this came with 1,000 other things that the Harley doesn't come with at all. And
Did it have Bluetooth?
Yeah, it did. No, it did. It did. It had a player. It had a Bluetooth player on it. It was a whole entertainment system. It was really cool.
Yeah. And that is, that's what it is, guys. People are going to demand that, and people are going to get it, and it's going to help sell bikes. That's fine. I think that Indian has managed to tap into. It's a combination of having a good product that people like and trust, and they go out and they do racing and they do performance and they do events. Like the one show that we went to was Indian. And they do all that cool shit. And at the same time, though, they know that there's enough people out there that are just like, fuck you, Harley. No more Harley. I'm done with Harley. So Indian's like, we'll take that. You can come over here. It's safe here. We're still American. You don't have to turn in your bandanas. And I think that's a big thing for that is they are the safe alternative. I don't want to be a dick, but it's one of those I'm still a biker. It's cool. I'm still a biker. I can still do this because it's an Indian, right?
My Eagles.
I think Steve's main goal for coming over here was to make me drink some brown liquor, so I'm trying to indulge him a little bit.
Yeah, I see a little tin cup going on back there.
There's going to be a lot of brown liquoring in a little bit.
Liquor in the front, poker in the rear.
His boss is going to be pissed if he gets fucked up tonight and doesn't show up on time.
I'll be working the 12 to 8 shift tomorrow.
On Tuesday, we went and we got together with Steve and Fernando, and we shot a Moto Stories with Unkie Phil, and Johnny McElfresh was our guest star. And we drank so many Mai Tais. It was hilarious.
Let's just say getting up at 5 a.m. to go to work because I had to go in. I went in early because I had a virtual doctor's appointment. That was something. That was really something.
I drank 1/15 of what you drank, and I had to get up at 6, and I didn't have a good morning. So I think I texted you. I was like,
there's nothing like that's a good eye opener is, get into work, get checked in real quick. And then okay, let's
You know,
skedatter and go out and start pulling sludge.
The guys took care of them, though.
They did.
Ask them.
They did.
What did they get you?
I got a snoogle. I don't know if anybody's had a snoogle yet.
The fuck's a snoodle?
A snoogle, Snoogle.
Okay.
Comes from a bakery in Amherst. It is a long, thin, like puff pastry.
Okay.
Inside is a thin layer of cream, of cheesecakey kind of filling, and then drizzled with, it's glazed, and it's this long, skinny thing. You want to cut it in half and start from the middle and work your way that way.
Oh, that's cool.
We had this discussion 2 years ago about snoogles, and
I was going to say, we talked about snoogles before, right?
I finally had a snoogle, and I'm glad Nick bought those. It made up for a lot.
Yeah, he was under the weather, so we tend to, if anybody comes in wasted, we usually go out and get breakfast or go get donuts or snoogles or whatever. So
Nice.
he hasn't experienced what the hell they call it, those fried pork things that we get for breakfast. They're like country fried chicken or country fried steak. What do they call them?
chicken steak.
Like a schnitzel.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just know that after filming that whole night, I'm gonna have to like move the episodes around because it'll be like, wow, John is so on point. The knowledge he is expounding is amazing. And then if I bring in like the 8th story second, however, it's gonna be good.
I just remember I drove home and I was
This is how Zoom works.
I was driving home and I'm like, man, my car really accelerates nicely. I was thinking about that the next day. I'm like, really? That wasn't a good idea.
One person drag racing by himself gets busted in Lakewood.
I really couldn't help it though, because that Mai Tai mix from Trader Vic's that you have was the fucking licious. And it was some good rum. And I was sipping the first one and trying to pump the brakes. And I'm like, I'm almost finished and Phil hasn't even touched it. Come on. And then then you're like, do you want another one? I'm like, yeah, I do. And then another one and another one. and
it just got to the point where I was pouring you another Mai Tai every time we'd cut. So every time we'd cut, your glass would be empty, and I'd be like, okay, well, we go back. And I was starting to dial them back because the rum, the rum is 100 proof rum. So what I was doing was I was making them Cadillac style, which would be to sneak in some, orange liqueur.
I knew you were doing that, but I was like, I probably need.
So I was cutting the rum in half, and I was adding in orange liqueur because it's at 40%. So like I was like, well, every bit of orange liqueur in there is rum that's not at the house. It's not in the party. So I was cutting your drinks with other drinks, and it was pretty funny though because it was like it got to the point where I was like, wow, we are really having good video here. This is really good video.
Hey, does anybody want to own a motorcycle that has 200 horsepower and weighs less than 200 pounds?
No.
I can't even imagine that.
I want to borrow one.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, there we go.
Look at
I thought you were talking about the passport.
Yeah, that's a 2-stroke.
Oh, look, it's my bike.
Yeah, that's a 2-stroke. That's a 2-stroke 4-cylinder.
What is the bottom right here?
Yeah. The one it doesn't weigh nothing.
No.
Yeah.
It says John on it right there.
I would be shocked if it had more than one throttle cable. I think they took everything out. I think there's helium in the tires.
Look at that thing, man.
Yeah.
And there's no reserve.
Yeah. You can get it Chris, there's no reserve. When you run out of gas on that thing, you're just out of gas. Yeah.
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 Look at that carbon fiber, everything. Look at
that's it. Yeah.
Is that like a composite brake disc?
Yeah. Yeah, it sure is.
Fiber.
Swing arm and everything, man.
Oh, that thing's just made out of angel tears.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like there's no hitting a bump or anything on this thing. But
no, that's 19. That is absolute cutting edge of technology in 1993.
Yeah, that was amazing. But can you imagine that? Like now, when you think back, I never really saw the specs before. So now you think back to MotoGP. These dudes were riding 200 horsepower, sub 200 pound bikes.
with no electronic assistance whatsoever, with no safety measures whatsoever. But here's the thing. If you want to know what that resulted in, that's why Cagiva ended up being owned by Aprilia, which ended up being owned by Piaggio, right? It's like, that's what murdered all those smaller Italian companies or European companies. Was that
broke them?
Yeah, it did. It broke them. They had this addiction to racing, and they kept putting, racing into a needle and shooting it in their arm, and they all lost their ass. And then there were companies later on that sold mopeds that had money that could afford to buy them all.
Think about Indian, the original iteration of Indian.
Yep.
They put all their money into the inline fours.
Right.
And that took them out of because of the economy and whatever, that put them out of business.
So while the
look what Honda's selling bikes. I wouldn't call the Monkey a race bike, but yet they're selling a gajillion of them. I wouldn't call the Grom a race bike. They're selling a gajillion of them. Bikes that people can actually ride and enjoy and afford.
And by the way, the action. So if you're not on Twitch, the action on Twitch right now is which one of us is going to fall asleep first.
Not me.
We have a buddy system going on here.
Yeah, the action on Twitch. If you're not following on Twitch, if you don't know what the Twitch feed is, there's comments. People are commenting on the Twitcher, and right now everybody's saying it's either going to be Chris Smith or going to be one of the GSGs.
I'm not going down tonight.
Grumpy Sewer Guy and Grumpy Sewer Guy and Chunky Sewer Guy. Sorry. So while these guys were out filming the Moto Stories thing at the shop, they got to see that the mothership has landed and delivered 6 baby SSRs.
Yes.
So we now have at the shop, from my mouth to God's ears, we have 6 brand new in the crate SSR 125s right behind me there. That's it. And anybody who was out at Steve's house, barn burning felony, will know that we like this bike. So
I heard that Grumpy Store Guy rode the SSR 125 to work one day.
He did, yeah. Which is exactly a quarter mile from his driveway.
But they couldn't tell it was a mini bike because all it is now is a handlebar with a block of mud. It'll kind of stick out from underneath the mud. So. And
it's all frozen.
And now it's frozen mud.
Now it's frozen mud. Yeah. So I went ahead and I ordered the whole flotilla of them. So the podcast listeners know, you guys who are
cute. There's a 6-pack. It's one just 6-pack of bikes.
It is for anybody. It literally is a cube. It looks like a Rubik's cube. It's a Rubik's cube, except for it's 6 feet tall. So it's a 6 foot tall Rubik's cube that is like, if you think about it, you're like, these crates are too small. And that's because you have to build these bikes. They don't come pre-built. And so I had an idea.
I think you'll be able to get them all prepped for us.
Why would I do that, John?
To honor your purchase of these pit bikes for our amazing little thing that we're going to come up with, I went on to McElfresh's Facebook page and I pulled a picture off and I made us a logo.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
That's John's high school picture.
Yeah.
Actually, that was Chris Smith's first motorcycle. It was the first bike to have round wheels.
So how's the seat on the bike? It looks a little bit like a trials bike, like a thinner, smaller kind of, or is it?
Yeah, there it is. So
I can't lie. I've already given some thought to how I would want to customize the seat for myself. I know that we do.
Is it narrow or is it?
I know that there's a couple tractor, like those garden tractors sitting out front of Steve's property. And I feel like if I could tear one of those off and stab it on there, that might be good.
I think we should make one a fat cat.
Yeah,
Like
that's a good
big,
idea.
wide tires on it.
No, we'll just put 100 pounds in the tires and let them stretch out.
That's true too. Okay, how about this for an idea? Since we have the ability now to shoot video on things and make that happen, I have an idea. I have an idea that we will assemble, Avengers will assemble at Clevelandmoto. And each one of you will have to build a bike.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm in too.
I'm in. That's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in.
It's going to be a race.
Oh, of course it is.
So here's the way we're going to do it. I had this idea that I would take, I will make 6 kits. I will prepare 6 individual kits of the tools that you will need to build these bikes.
You mean they don't come with their own toolkit that has everything you need?
No dice, man. But I've got enough.
Better. You get the one key and the bad fucking screwdriver. You
Literally
go at it.
Fucking IKEA style. You literally get one head wrench and the world's worst Phillips head screwdriver. It's made out of Helvetium. Yeah, well, there you go.
Or bring in those.
And Dan's not kidding. Just bring in your Bosch kit because I build these things. I'm not going to compete. I'll be the cameraman because I have built like 25 of these. So I kind of got a little bit figured out. But what we're going to do, there you go. See? Yes. Now bring that in. Now here's the rule. You can bring in any tools you want to bring in. You want to bring in your DeWalt, Milwaukee, Makita, whatever you got, you can bring it in. I don't care. If you want to bring in
a tool I need.
I've always been a bit of a tool.
And he is a tool.
Yeah, and if you want to bring whatever you got in, yeah, that's exactly it. These are all great tools that you've got by simply being a part of this podcast.
Can I bring in a ringer to do it for me?
You're gonna bring in a ringer, right?
I got dibs on Steve Noble.
Yeah. What about partners? Can we get partners in crime?
Nope.
No.
Chris Smith is going to bring in his wife and have her build it.
She'll read the instructions 17 times and still call 3 of us.
So I thought it'd be fun though if we set it up, and what we'll do is to be safe, right? Because I've got a big shop. So to be safe, we'll set people up with distance, right? We'll have people away from each other. And then I'll take the camera and I'll go visit, each pit as you're building your pit bike. But then the goal is going to be, can you get your bike built? And we'll have gas cans standing by, get the gas in it and take it for a ride down the street and back. And if you can make it down the street and back on your bike that you built, whatever it is, and I'll come up with some kind of stupid prizes. So we'll do that. But I thought it'd be fun.
Gotta have like negative points if anything falls off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's going to be all kinds of punishments. I figure we'll have 3 awards and 3 punishments. If there's a punishment, you might have to smell something that the GSGs bring in.
If you don't do it right, you're going to take it apart and do it again.
Exactly. Yep. But I thought it'd be fun, and it's if nothing else, you will know the way these bikes get put together, and you'll understand. I mean, we've done a bunch of them at the shop.
Should make it like Cutthroat Kitchen.
Yes,
like there's things that you could like buy to like sabotage the other guys. So give them like a Fisher Price bread set, so they have to assemble it with a Fisher Price thing, or like duct tape their hand into one hand into a fist.
The only thing I got to do to fuck this guy up is just throw a handful of extra nuts and bolts beside the bike when he's about halfway through. Like, wait, these must go somewhere.
No, just high NICs, and then
I got it. I got the greatest addition to. I have the greatest addition to this whole thing.
Yeah.
Every 15 minutes, we have to do a shot.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
Steve's going to use anti-seize. I'm going to use Loctite. Which bike do you want to ride?
And every 5 minutes, you move to the next person's bike.
Well, and it is a legit thing.
Yeah.
Because we're all going to ride these bikes. So this isn't like working at the factory in China where the problem gets detected 4,000 miles away. This is working for the bike you're going to ride, So this is a big deal. And So I thought about it, and it is more fun because actually these bikes do. I mean, you guys saw me riding them around. These bikes are pretty freaking well engineered and they're well thought out.
Steve, you're missing your passenger pegs. Come on.
So
maybe we can have like whoever finishes first can pick whose bike they want to ride.
Right.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And one, and whoever finishes last gets to modify seat with the holder, which means that there's
But I do think it'll be a lot of fun. I've done enough of them at the shop where I've got my time. I know where my time is on it, but I've also learned all the tricks. I've learned the trap, like where you think it's going to go this way and it really doesn't.
Bill's not allowed to talk to you.
Nope.
He's just going to have an airsoft gun, and if you do something wrong, he's going to shoot you with it.
He's going to have one of those air horns.
He can only berate you.
There will only be negative reinforcement.
So anyway, I thought that'd be a fun thing. We'll shoot it. We'll shoot video on it. It'll be a blast, and we'll just and it'll be fun because it is like building a 1-to-1 full size real life model kit. You know,
I just like to right now propose a team effort with me and Nick because I'm not so good anymore, but I know Nick's good. So I figure if I could ride his coattails across the finish line, I'll get a close second.
we have enough bikes that everybody can build one.
I want the shot thing. I demand that we do a shot every 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's going to add to it.
Yeah.
wow. Every 5, you're gonna have to buy like 15 gallons of fucking alcohol.
The other thing would be that I could
put one bolt in. I want my shot.
There might be some of us who don't even build. We'll just be like holding the glass.
I'm going to tell you guys.
Kromke and I'll have an advantage then.
Getting the bike out of the crate, getting the bike outside of the crate, like literally getting the bike out of the crate is more work than you can imagine. Like I was thinking about getting all the bikes out of the crates and getting them ready. Fuck no. No. You get the bike in the cardboard. Like there's cardboard, there's metal. It's the whole experience. So it'll be great. Yeah.
Maybe I'll bring my welder and weld up a sissy bar while I'm at it.
While you're at it, just tack on a quick sissy bar.
Make it out of the crate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your daughter is literally green screen compliant.
Yeah. This is all, I had no idea she was doing this, by the way.
She's a disembodied head.
Wait.
She's a floating head. Catch the floating head.
This is
what
what
I thought that'd be fun. We could,
That's what I felt like after Moto Stories on Tuesday.
have a good time and learn something and build motorcycles in the process. Lots of for our loyal people that listen or watch the thing, Moto Stories has never ended with the NPR theme song before. But now that John visited in, every time I would say ride fast and take chances, John would just light up.
It's like Pavlov's dog. You guys were both like, all right, ride fast and take chances. John was like, bom, bom. He didn't even have any control over his whole body. It was just happening. All right.
Is Twitch giving odds yet on who's going to finish first?
Not yet, no.
Everybody out there on Twitch, who do you think is going to win this contest?
And
That's a good one, yeah.
Give us odds.
I like, Vulcan Dan from Cincinnati, he was like, well, obviously Mexicana 400, once you build the bike, you got to take it on a Mexicana. So a few of us that are here, Oscar and I for sure.
A loaded burrito.
Yeah. And we've done the Mexicana. And yes, that's exactly what these bikes were built for. These bikes are Mexicana ringer bikes.
Steve's out. He's on a keto diet.
Hey, what we could do too is ride them to the plant, and we could do a rollerball in the EQ basin.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh no! They
all go in. Some don't come out.
Some don't come back out. Yeah, I think it'll be. I honestly think it'll be a load of fun. We'll just have a blast with it. It'll be super cool. Yep. So, on a different note entirely, This is Chris Smith brought up a great topic, and the great topic was tires. And I told Chris a little secret about tires. He wanted to get some tires for that crazy Moto Guzzi 1400 California that he bought. And because what's the deal on that bike, Chris? It's just the tires are kind of old, right?
Yeah, they're 7 years old.
So they're 7 years old. And how many miles are on the bike?
14 miles.
They're only 7 years old. 14. They're only 7 years old. I wish I had tires that were only 7 years old.
Only 17. They're only 7 years old. Keep riding.
I had the original tires on my 175, Chris.
Well, you know what? I'll put new tires on. You guys can have the old ones. I don't care.
There you go. So
I think there's 6,800 miles on it.
Yeah. And so this is a big deal. So every year around this time, we know, because we've been doing it for a long, long time, that the tire manufacturers and everyone else will tend to put out their official springtime, let's get your money before anybody else gets your money, advertisements on discounted tires and things like that. And historically in the motorcycle shop thing, Dunlop, Continental, and Michelin have just always been slugging at each other constantly on who's going to steal your money to get you to buy their tire. And every year they come up with different promos. And it's very funny that this year something's going wrong. Something's going differently this year, because by this time, normally we've gotten some kind of crazy promotion from Continental. We've had some kind of crazy promotion from Michelin and some kind of crazy promotion from Dunlop.
Is it buy two and get the third one free?
Something like that. Exactly. And not that obtuse, but not far from it. So the way Dunlop's doing it this year, Dunlop's doing it: buy any 3 tires and get a $20 rebate for each tire. And then if you have the tires put on professionally, get a $20 rebate on that. So you can get $60 off your tires, which is pretty awesome. Now, here's the crazy thing. Continental and Michelin have not done any of these programs this year. So we normally by this time have seen multiple manufacturers' programs coming out on tires, and it fucking hasn't happened this year. And that leads us to some question as like, well, what happened in COVID to create this lack of a marketing emergency in the tire market? I think what happened is, I think last year people bought motorcycles, and I think last year people spent money on motorcycles, and I don't think there's any tires left over. And we've noticed that trying to order tires, we've noticed trying to order motorcycles, and we've noticed trying to order scooters. It's not like there's a lot of anything left over to have to discount. So right now, the only company that we deal with on the regular is Dunlop. And because our shop is a Dunlop Pro dealer, there are some some good incentives to buy Dunlop tires. Now, here's the weird thing. I am going to go out and pimp for Dunlop right now, because a good portion of Dunlop's tires are made in Buffalo, New York. Really? So that is saying something. Other motorcycle tires that you can buy at your local dealership can't say that they are actually made in the United States. They're not made in America. And Dunlop does. And that's a big deal. So for people who do want to have some control over where their money goes, it is nice that those tires are made in the States. For me, it's nice that the tires are very reasonably priced. And I mean, when I say competitively priced, what I mean is they're not expensive compared to other tires that are made in China. And it's shocking that the price on an American-made tire can be competitive with a tire that's made somewhere where the prevailing wage of the person making it is like less than $1 an hour.
I like Dunlop tires too. I mean, I've never had a problem with one.
Yeah.
Should knock on wood, because I have on my bikes. But I mean, I usually run Metzlers, Dunlops, or Connies. So
there were a few years back 15, 20 years ago where Dunlop didn't have a great reputation, and that has changed. Dunlop is doing amazing stuff with tires right now. So that is something that you might want to look at. And they've worked really, really hard to make sure that their prices are. I don't care if you raise your hand and say, I'm only going to have this tire on the back of my bike for 4,000 miles because I'm a monster. So I'm going to buy a Shinko. Well, guess what? The Dunlop costs the same as the Shinko. And the Dunlop's going to last you 8,000 miles or 10,000 miles. So it's a very, very interesting time right now in the tire game. What I wanted people to look at, because I thought was super fun and super interesting, is Dunlop has had a tire called the Trail Max Mission. MISS, like mission, like going out on a mission. And Dunlop has had this tire called the Trail Max Mission now for going on its second year. And that tire is insane. It's made in America, first of all. It's for all of those, whether you have a Honda 500, a CB 500X, or you have a BMW GS. This Mission has been tested by everybody, and they like it. And
what kind of tread is it? Is it like a?
It's an enduro tire. It's what they call a 50-50.
A 50-50?
So it's a 50-50.
Oh,
and
no.
it's a 50-50 tire, and they are incredibly good.
Both of them, 220 for the combo. That's
well. I'm gonna remind you about something right now. You're on motosport.com,
right?
And in order for them to give you that price on that tire, you have to do what's called price reflects selected options, which means there's going to have to be like, that ain't going to be the price for everybody. You're going to have to do some certain things. Like if you want to have a tire, like, scroll down. Yeah. If you want to have a 110 by 80, you're going to add $54. If you want a 120 by 70, which is what everybody uses, you're going to need to add $65. So this is a bait and switch thing. These internet guys that sell tires, 220. So like, Punter Joe goes out there and says, well, I don't know. I can get that thing online for 220. I was like, yeah, if you've got a Fruit Loop size that nobody else has ever used, right? If you have the one oddball size that they have 10 of them left over in the warehouse, but if you want it in a size that comes on any normal motorcycle, yeah, it's going to cost you the real price. But yeah, you can still pick up a pair of these for around $300.
I don't like these tires.
Well,
you know why I don't like these tires?
Why?
Because I don't like anything that has those diagonal angles like that.
Right. Yeah.
When you take those in something muddy, they tend to throw you one way or the other.
Yep.
I like a square block pattern because it keeps it keeps you from sliding sideways.
Like a regular knobby.
At least you want to have at least one center, like a couple center channels that help, so if you're on off camber, your ass end doesn't just slip out from under, or your front end doesn't slip out.
Right.
They might be great on the street or gravel and stuff like that, but anything really slippery with that type of tire, it scares me. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
They probably are great tires. I've never ridden on them or anything, but
so these tires intentionally changed the way that Dunlop builds dual purpose tires, because what you're talking about, John, is that big block technology like you'd see on a TKC 80 or like on a Dunlop. One of my favorite tires in the world is a D606.
Yep.
And a D606 is like what comes on the military KLR 650s,
I think that picture did it some disrepresentation, because check this out. This is actually on a bike and it looks way different. Check it out. Look at it. Look, it's not as weird.
Different. Yeah.
The fronts were different than the rear.
Fronts are different than the backs because
the fronts are symmetrical and the backs look like they were almost asymmetrical.
Correct. Dunlop did something strange, and they admitted that front tires and back tires do different jobs.
Yeah, look.
Yep. So what's really funny about these is they've tested these and they actually last. They actually survive. They don't just disintegrate. But what's crazy is they actually have a side tread. So when you're in the mud, and every other tire I've ever had that's been a dual sport tire, once the mud is mud, and the mud's like creme brulee, that tire's just spinning because the blocks all fill up with mud. Well, these things have what are called this aggressive sidewall, and the sidewall actually grabs the mud on the side of the trench. And that's what is the difference between a street tire and a dirt tire to me, is when I get into something sloppy, I need to be able to get through it. And these tires are designed to do that.
How does that, like on pavement though, when you're cornering,
Right.
are you going to feel that or?
Read the reviews. So people who are better riders than me have dived these things into corners and said that they were shocked that they did not crash. So take a look at this tire, because this is something, you guys know I'm completely Camaro for the TKC 80, but I think I'm going to be trying these. One, they cost about $130 less a set than a set of TKC 80s. Two, they're made in America. And every review I've read on these things say that unlike the TKC 80s, I'm going to get some real miles out of this. So
if you want to order a set for my Africa Twin right now, I will buy them.
And thank you for bringing that up, because it is as though Dunlop designed this bike for the Africa Twin.
Hold on, Steve. Read this one. Right there. Read that.
I can't read it. It's too small.
It says, the bottom line is the Dunlop Trail Max Mission, an actual 50-50 tire, just as good on asphalt as they are in the dirt? Unfortunately, no. Partly because they are so good on the street that they'd have to perform like a full-on knobby tire to equal the dirt.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's pretty good, man.
That's pretty great. That's pretty high praise. That is pretty high praise. And I have ridden a lot of street tires in the dirt, and I've ridden a lot of tires from expensive companies on Triumph Tigers and on big heavy bikes where these things got in the dirt and they just gave it up. You know,
I feel fairly confident that the Africa Twin's not going to be going through a sippy hole.
Yeah.
No, but the biggest thing is the factory tires on that Twin suck. Right. And I mean,
and I had a set of the Carews, and I had a set of Carews on that Triumph, and they were awful. And I just couldn't get like anything that was muddy or sloppy. They just didn't work it.
I wonder how they are compared to the Tractionator GPSs, because the Tractionator GPSs I had on my Super T, and they were pretty good. I think those
Tractionator GPSs aren't they known for a bit of a short lifespan?
No, the opposite. They're good.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry. That is the hard tire.
Yeah, but if you get the Tractionator GPS, the rear tire, you can kind of tell it what you want to do.
Right.
So if you're going to do mostly street, you orientate it one way. And if you're going to do actual 50-50 dirt riding, you flip the back around.
Okay.
Digs in more. But like I had it to more of the street orientation, but me and Mike got into some slop and some other shit, out places. And even me and Dan, Dan, you were on slicks basically, but you still rode it fine. But we hit some fucking gravel, and those tires were good. So I wonder how they compare to that, I wonder.
Right. And I've had bad luck with trail wings. And I know Johnny McElfresh has had bad luck with trail wings too. That we were just we did not like that tire, that Bridgestone DOT. I don't even want to call it an 80-20 because it just was terrible off-road.
I forget what they call them. They call them kill wings or something like that.
Yeah, death wings. Yeah.
Death wings or something.
I didn't like them at all. And that's a Bridgestone tire. And man, I didn't care for it one bit. I never liked them.
The Kendas too, the Kendas that I have on the KLR right now.
No, I'm not doing that anymore. I put the Kendas on the one scrambler, and that thing just wanted to kill me. So I'm done with those. I'm over that.
But do they come on a 10-inch with a white wall?
Yeah. So we were looking through the Dunlop catalog, and because there's what's called mini moto racing, there's so much mini moto racing that they do a lot of their flat tracker tires. They do them in a 10-inch. Yeah.
You get them from Monkey?
So I have the catalog at the shop and stuff like that. But so what they've done is, because mini moto has become so popular, they're offering these tires in a lot of 10-inch. Yeah. So I'm like, this is going to be really cool. And John will tell you, like, a proper flat track tire pattern, like the traditional flat track tire pattern, is cool. But imagine it in a 10-inch. So like you could take a little pit bike and put proper dirt track tires, flat track tires on it.
Nice.
The flat track tires are like a vintage old school. They have that little squiggles all over them.
It's really cool.
I have an idea for if there is another Mid-Ohio or anything like that where there's going to be a parking lot.
There's going to be something. If there's no real Mid-Ohio, there's going to be a Mid-Oberlin.
No, that's fine. But I'm saying, like, for like if the big manufacturers listen to this, which obviously they don't, but if they did, why doesn't like somebody like Honda or Yamaha or somebody bring like 10 whatevers, 10 MTO 10s, 10 whatever, and then get like 10 different tire manufacturers and slap different tires on the bike so you can take the same bike out and ride it and feel what the different tires feel like around the thing. Because, like, you know, when you buy tires, you're always kind of taking a chance. You're like, are these going to be good? Are they going to be bad? I'm taking the word of some dude on the internet. I don't know. How do they feel? You know, and everybody has different opinions on how different things feel.
Yeah, I mean, by the time you figure out a tire sucks, you've already bought the farm.
Right. Yeah, you're ready to do it $300, and then you're like, fuck, these suck. Well, I got to ride these. So my bike is going to suck for the next year plus.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel like my mother-in-law and buy a steak and say it's tough and take it back and say, nah, I want a new one.
But it's a pile of shit.
I will tell you, if I would not have bought those Kendas on closeout, I bought those Kendas on closeout because they were cheap and they looked the business. They looked so cool. And they did look cool. And on a scrambler, you know, the big wedge-shaped knobbies and stuff, they looked great. And riding them around in the dirt, they were okay. They were pretty good in the dirt on a 380-pound bike. They'd hook up real nice, spray dirt everywhere. You could pull a wheelie on the dirt, no problem. I got them on the road and driving them to work on even a slight, like an on-ramp. All of a sudden, the bike's just gone. Like the back end's trying to pass the front end.
They just want to turn you around.
What the fuck is going on? At first I was like, well, okay, maybe the tires are kind of old. I got them cheap. Maybe they're, 3 or 4 years old and they're just dried out or whatever. Or maybe they're just glazed from the mold release agent. So I took them out and I lit them up and, smoked the tire left and right and got it all nice and warm. And it was still garbage. So
Sorry.
Go ahead, man.
My biggest beef with the Africa Twin is it's got no lateral stability. I mean, so if you're on a crowned road,
yep,
and there's like powder on the road or any type of mud, it'll slide down the crown.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to hold it. You almost have to, it's almost like flying a plane crab. You have to like crab the bike in order for it not to slide, like slip off the crown.
Yeah.
So, or ride right on top of the crown so it doesn't go there. So I'm hoping that those Dunlops will solve that problem because I mean, if they have that grip on the side, then that may, and also because they're facing opposite directions, maybe it'll offset the pressure on both sides so that it won't pull the one, like slide one way or the other. So
yep. That's always been, and that's been the problem. If you want a bike that's going to be great in the dirt and be a freaking tractor tire in the dirt, you get a Dunlop D606 and you go. And it is street legal, but only fucking barely street legal. Like, I don't even know how they can call that tire street legal. It's a fierce tire that is completely unreliable on the road. It's almost dangerous, but it's really good in the dirt. It's such a good tire in the dirt. It's one of those things. It's like, I love them. I put them on all my bikes that will go off road. But I also know that if I'm going to be riding anywhere near the road on those things, I have got to go super slow and chill the fuck out.
You need to say I put that shit on all my bikes.
No, that's TKC 80s.
You'd be surprised though how good a brand new sticky knobby goes on the road. They're great. That's not the problem. It's that you burn them off too quick.
I was going to say they go great for a week and a half.
Yeah.
And after a week and a half, they're croising. They're heat centered and they've got all the rough edges knocked off of them. And after you get a 606 and you just drive it on the street, after a couple of weeks, that thing's garbage. So
Nokia. Not that they make tires for motorcycles, but they make these new snow tires with studs that are like a pivoting studs so that they actually push out of they push in and out of the tires. So if you're on the hard without any snow and they don't need grip, then they kind of stay in the tire. But when you need them, the tire flexes and the studs actually push out of the tire. So they're like soft studs.
That's crazy.
So I think it's a pretty interesting design, and maybe something like that could make its way to motorcycles at some point.
Yeah,
or like for a block. I mean, like maybe the blocks could be like designed so that when you're in a soft area, that the edge, so you don't lose the edge on the road.
That's right. And it is true that you guys got to be careful because when you buy a motorcycle brand new, the manufacturer may have worked out a little deal. The motorcycle manufacturer may have worked out a little deal with the tire manufacturer so they could be able to put, Continentals on every bike they sell or Michelins on every bike they sell. And it may be like that Black Friday Walmart big screen TV where it's a special model number for just Black Friday at Walmart.
Right.
And it may not have all the best features, or the rubber may be thinner. It may not have the thickness to it, or it may not have the same support. It may be literally that oddball model number that is just as an OEM tire. It's only available as a tire that gets put on the Fling Poo, 650, and it's just. And you're like, oh, I got this bike and, I rode the bike for 2,500 and I burned the tire up already. Therefore, all Continentals are garbage. No, your bike may have come from the factory with Continental's Cheapo-matic Trail Attack or whatever. Like the one that they only sell to insert name of motorcycle manufacturer here. Instead of that tire being a $200 or $300 tire, it's a $60 tire when you buy 20,000 of them.
Well, look at that CB350.
Yeah.
They sold 10,000 sets of tires in 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. So the manufacturer would be foolish to give you the full 100% full force 1-to-1 scale tire when they could give you a 60% tire and nobody ever go in the dealership and say, well, I was going to buy this CB350, but then I looked at the tire and I realized the tread depth was one blonde, one shallower, and the rubber composition was harder than the tire that has the same name with the letter P taken off of it. So there's all kinds of trickery in the world of tires. Don't be fooled by that kind of shit. The tires that come on your bike, take a look at it. We have seen tires that said, like, I don't want to blow anybody out of the water here, but like, BT801R or BT801T or BT801P. And we're like, what the fuck is that? I can't even find it in the catalog. No, that's a tire that they made just to put on the EX500 because they made 93 million of them. So every time you put the EX500, you got a shitty tire.
If you were building a bike, why wouldn't you just throw like the stickiest tire? Well, I don't care how long it lasts, but that first set of tires, the first time you ride that bike, it's going to have these really sticky tires, but they're not going to last 5,000 miles. Right. And then you're going to have to come back to the dealership and get a new set.
Yeah, but they probably cost more. A sticky tire probably costs more money because of high silicon compound and everything. So, I mean, they're give you some rock hard bullshit tire, just like Toyota. Toyota puts the shittiest tires on their cars. They burn out in like 20,000 miles. You're like, I can 20,000 miles. You're like, I can. Wait, was I hearing myself?
You were.
You were. I don't know how that happened, but it did happen.
Yep. Somebody's getting a whole lot of lag.
Somebody's getting a whole lot of lag.
Oh, my it's probably Johnny Mac put his phone on. Johnny Mac put his phone on.
Oh.
No, it's not.
Well, once they figure it out, on the poll for who they thought that was going to win for building the bike faster, and Johnny Mac got the most votes. So,
safe bet right there.
Yeah.
We're going to handicap Mac.
Yep. No, they're double shots every 5 minutes. Double zoom.
I'm just going to have a pitcher full of Mai Tais. We'll just.
All right, that probably would do it.
By the time we get rolling, he'll be rolling, so it'll be great. It'll be big fun. So the Sleepy, how are you, by the way? Because Sleepy came into our shop the other night and he made it 6 steps into the door and both of his feet went over his head.
I scorpion hard, man.
Yeah, you did.
Oh no!
Fortunately, I'm fat, and so everything aligned itself, and I just slammed down flat. And
I did go flat.
It was flat. There was no pain.
I heard this thunk, and he goes, "That hurt."
And then I was like, oh, sweet, I'm paid. And then I'm like, fuck, I'm in Phil's shop. God damn it.
You know he doesn't have insurance.
Get a red cent.
You did the same thing in New York, though. You like face planted as soon as you came out of the door.
I did. I
Oh,
did.
really?
Oh, I killed myself. I bled all over everything. We were there for 4 minutes. We hadn't even drank anything or done anything. And I killed myself. And the best part was, and they can all confirm this, my wife didn't flinch. She was like, that's normal. That happens. That's just Steve. He just.
I thought you were going to the hospital.
So my question is this: what do we see the time frame for the ultimate SSR bike build-up?
Time frame? Like,
when's that going to happen? Are we going to wait for the snow to melt, or are we going to try to rush it? I would not mind
Thursday if you want.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would not mind having at least one session out at the farm before the snow melts.
Right.
Wait, so you want to dry run before the official one? No, fuck you, dude.
No.
He wants to do it soon so we can ride in the snow.
I want to build the bikes and then at least get one set of shenanigans.
Exactly.
In the snow, pulling sleds, doing that kind of stupid stuff.
Because if we get these, like, if we build these bikes on Tuesday, right, then we could go to the farm on Saturday, right? I mean, I have trucks. We can just throw the bikes in the back of a truck and off we fuck, right?
A good friend of mine gave me a 3 bike trailer that could easily haul 3 bikes at once.
And I still have a 5x7. We got plenty of ways to get fucking
plenty of ways to get those things out there. Moving 6 bikes to the farm is no problem.
And I think we could run a few time lapse cameras on all, like, the room with all the bikes getting built, so we can see a kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got that 360 camera too. We can throw up.
Oh, even better. Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, watching you guys deal with China's finest is going to be my best day ever. Like, because I'm going to just stand back and go, oh yeah, that's that part. That's the best right there. That's the delicious sweetness of, like, them in China putting that bike in a crate and going, this is going to be hilarious.
Do you have one tip for us?
Yes.
Don't
Absolutely.
eat bat.
I've got a
He said, don't eat bat.
I've got an absolutely big tip for you.
That's what no lady has ever said ever in the history of your.
Forget that motorcycles must remain upright.
Okay.
Get freaky with it.
See, Nick, I could hold it and you could put it together. You know, I could see the muscle.
I'm going to tell you.
Brain. You got tiny hands. I'm stupid.
The best thing you can do is you can just, you got to think 3-dimensionally.
Well,
you know?
it ships dry, so you.
Right.
No,
Flip it upside down like a bicycle. Like you're working on a bicycle.
Yeah, they have shipping oil in them.
If you invert it, you will create a fucking problem for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's fully inverted, you'll have a problem.
And
But you can get really aggressive with the lean angle prior to that, and it will help you. Yeah.
But the oil that they ship them with, I don't think it has a viscosity.
No. The oil they ship them with has a lifespan that's measured in minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, so they don't ship them dry?
No, they ship them with oil in them.
But they're not. It's not motor oil. It's
There you go.
oil. And
it is. I'd like to use the term. It's break-in oil.
Yeah. Well,
because there is no promises made on break-in oil.
Please, any listener or anybody that wants to entertain themselves and not participate, but just enjoy reading things, get on Facebook and join a couple of the clone groups. So all these guys buying the Grims, the Groms, the SSRs, and all this stuff. And these are people that have never owned a motor. And to their credit, they've never owned a motorcycle. They're new to the thing and stuff. But also some are really stupid. And so they'll buy them and they just like throw the front wheel on and they immediately start the thing. And they're like, my bike ran great for like 4 minutes and now it doesn't run anymore. And everybody's like, did you change the brake, the shipping oil? They're like, no, why? And like, so they basically ran their bike on water for like 20 minutes. It's horrible. It's just dumb.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you expect that from somebody that's buying a Chinese bike like that?
Because it says it in the instructions. It says this bike comes with no fluids. It's shipped with shipping oil in them.
Well, but I figure those people don't know how to read anyway.
What's funny, you guys, what's hilarious is on these bikes, there is a big fucking tag, a big tag with a zip tie going through it, a big tag that says, ensure engine bolts are properly tightened and secured, the engine bolts that go into the frame. And somebody took the time to make a big, beautiful tag in English with a zip tie through it, going right in by the bolts that hold the motor to the frame. Here's what I'll tell you. On every single one of these I've done, that bolt has been a good quality bolt. It's had a really nice quality nylock on it, and the son of a bitch has been put on to 36 foot-pounds of torque. Where they told you to look for the problem is not the fucking problem. They are fucking with you. There are going to be things that you think are simple that will waste 10 minutes of your time.
Does it say tighten bolt to 36 foot-pounds? I love you long time.
No, it says things like, well, every other set of handlebars I've ever put on any bike in my life has all required this. And it doesn't.
I know when the bike looks at me, it's going to say, you too, buku.
It's terrible, man. So
you got to worry about when the bikes, they turn them on and it says, please send missile codes to.
What is shocking, and I have to say this because I know we bust balls all the time, constantly. But you guys remember, it took me 4 years. It took me 4 years of dicking around to find a Chinese pit bike company that I was willing to sign up with, right? Because most of the time it's really garbage. It's really, really fucking bad. And what I will say, SSR, God love you, man. I don't know how long it took you to achieve this level of greatness, but every time I've built one of their bikes, I get it built, I pour some gas in it, I pull the choke, and I give her 3 kicks, and on the third kick, it's bop, 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 bop. It's amazing how predictable they are. And I think you guys all got to see, they're not slow.
No.
So
if you ride the 125 first, and then you go to the 110, you feel like the 110 is slow, but it's not. But it's way slower than that built.
No, the 110 is probably a really good indoor bike. It's probably a really good.
When you brought
cruise around your living room.
When you brought the 110 out at the podcast, we were all doing wheelies with giant monkeys on the thing. We were fucking pulling wheelies on it. I mean, it was fun.
Oh, it was a great time. So I saw that Big Ben was signing off, but I did want to read. Big Ben sent us a couple of messages on the Patreon, and he's right. He gave that link to those Indian chief, the Chief Bobber, and the Super Chief. Which again, if you watch Letterkenny, the Super Chief thing, it's hard to look at that bike being like, okay, Super Chief.
Yeah.
But he's right. I mean, and that's it. And then he was like, yeah, he goes, this is pretty much the bike that you need for a 3-day adventure on the ADV Rider forum. And then he was like, that's the amount of gear that you need. And that's about right. So yeah, Big Ben is on top of it. It is definitely a less is more scenario. I'll assure you of that. I'm excited though. I'm excited if we can get these little mini bikes built and then get out and play with them before it gets too springtimey.
I can't wait to play with ourselves.
Yeah. I have a question for all you guys.
Go ahead.
You're all familiar with the Royal Enfield Himalaya?
I am, the Himalaya.
Yep. So it's been out for what, 3 years, 2 years?
Yes. Yep. And 2 motors.
2 motors. What do you think? Like if you were Royal Enfield and you were going to bring out the 2021 version of it, what would you improve on it? What would be the thing that you guys think that they would, there's 2 things that they improved. What do you think those 2
The biggest thing was last year when they made the motor bigger.
Okay.
Because that had to happen. I mean, I've ridden them. I have not ridden it with the new bigger motor, but I have ridden a lot of them with the older, smaller motor. And it didn't feel like it was safe to be ridden at the freeway speeds I wanted to go with the older, smaller motor. So go ahead, Steve.
Oh, does anybody else have any ideas what they might need to change for this year? Is there something that you thought, just looking at it, would say, hey, I think they should do this? Well, if not, they addressed, 2 of the most important things you probably can address on a brand new bike.
Graphics.
There you go.
Bright new graphics.
You got stronger luggage racks and built-in sat nav.
Oh, built-in sat nav.
But I like the stronger luggage racks.
Stronger luggage rack.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if they all busted off or not. I'm not. Again.
And bold new graphics we can see here.
Yeah, I have.
If you rely on a GPS to find your way, that's ridiculous. I use my old military compass.
Well, but I mean, built-in sat nav. Look, dude, I've got a phone.
What do you need one built in for?
Right.
It's gonna be old.
I own a phone. So the phone I own, there you go. Woo, look at that.
I just found the seat for my SSR.
That's perfect. That is perfect. Came right off of a Grizzly.
That's the queen seat for a quad runner.
I was going to say for a Yukon or a Grizzly or some shit. But it's like, look, on my phone, I can do Google Maps or I can do Apple Maps or I can do Waze. There's like 9 different apps that I can have that are insanely accurate GPS systems. Why the fuck do I want India's, $29 off of Banggood put on my handlebars to be original equipment? It's not going to be great. I already have a phone.
Your navigation system doesn't say, "Thank you, come again."
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I've got
I tell you what, I like anything that says "Thank you, come again."
Yeah, right. You're like, I'd like to go downtown Cleveland. It's like New Delhi. You're like, no, downtown Cleveland. No,
I would prefer that to have a female's voice, but
I just don't see that having like. Anytime a company says we're going to put an OEM sound system on, it's the lowest bidder, right? Like anytime anybody puts an electronic device on a motorcycle, it's not going to be as robust as the thing I'm going to want to have and use as my regular go-to, right? So, look. What the hell's happening?
The navigator's name is Bob.
I can't when my brain thinks of like high quality electronics, I don't think of Royal Enfield.
Audio box.
Audio box, exactly. No, man.
My wife's GPS is a sexy Australian guy talking to her.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm like, really? Oh, yeah, I'm cool with this. Yeah, he sounds.
If you peel the Royal label off, the Royal Enfield label off the GPS, it says realistic underneath.
Unrealistic.
That's Radio Shack's finest.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen, Kenwood.
Oh, indeed.
Kenwood
and more.
Yeah.
Kenwood.
So COVID's been pretty hard, and obviously Phil and Oscar, you guys know firsthand that they canceled the Isle of Man TT, right?
Yep.
So what happens to a very famous Isle of Man TT guy when there's no Isle of Man TT to do?
Land Speed Records.
Look at Guy Martin is fucking crazy, dude.
Yep. Yeah, Guy Martin decided to do, and I had to look it up and I had to figure out what class he was in because I couldn't figure out what class that thing was in because it's not a full street legal.
Stand by. What does it say right here?
830 Herspers?
830 Herspers. Yeah. Right.
What?
Yeah. 270 miles an hour, and it appears to be a standard wheelbase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's nuts, dude. He is fucking nuts, man. I love
800 horsepower. I mean, that's a V8, right?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. I thought it would be a Hayabusa motor.
Steve said it's a single.
It's a single.
Well, it has a turbocharger.
Yeah, I mean, it's a turbocharger, but I mean, look.
It's a Busa.
Yeah. The whole thing is only 16 seconds. Honestly, not joking around. Of all the things Guy Martin has ever done, getting into a hastily assembled World War I airplane or whatever, probably more dangerous than this. But doing one single lap of the Isle of Man is more dangerous than getting out of an airplane at 30,000 feet.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right? There's no doubt in my mind. Just to do it and attempt to do it, we've seen it. It's fucking ridiculous.
Also steel, man.
Do you know why they keep trying to make it illegal every year and shut it down? Because that's a good idea. Because every single year, the number of spectators and the number of participants and racers fight to see who can die more. Nobody goes to Disneyland to see what the body count's going to be. No, that's not a thing. Like, if the Indianapolis 500 killed as many people as the Isle of Man has, they would have shut it down in the early 1900s. Mm-hmm. Like, the Isle of Man is the weirdest fucking thing. Yeah, it's so, I'm glad we got to go, and I want to go again.
We're on the last one.
I don't want to go to the last Isle of Man ever. I don't want the 100th running of the Isle of Man to be the last running of the Isle of Man. I don't want that. I want to go back. I want to spend too much money. I want to go and get ripped off on my house. Whatever. I don't care. We had a blast. And I want to do it again.
Do you think an island that makes their whole income off of a race will ever let it die?
They have a lot of races.
Right.
So that's the first thing, is they have a bunch of races. But that's the one that is that's the game on version of it.
Right.
But yeah, Oscar and I know what it's like to be the Isle of Man, because we were there at the rainiest year in the history of Isle of Man. So we had to learn what can be done on the Isle of Man when people aren't banging their heads off of cobblestones.
Right.
We had to figure out what there is to do at the Isle of Man if you book it the wrong weekend, right?
Can you imagine that? Oh shit, $6,000 down the drain because I'm an idiot.
We felt like Chevy Chase in Vacation. Like, park's closed, moose out front. Should have told you. We were there for a 14-day event where they actually did what they were supposed to do for 3 days.
Oh wow.
The other 11 days, we had to figure out all the interesting ways to jerk each other off. And it was hilarious. And we had a good time.
You like to go to the Isle of Man?
I can't wait.
Honestly, it was the worst Isle of Man ever. Everyone told us.
McElfresh, after your last comment, is trying to figure out how to chloroform you and set up his backyard to look like the Isle of Man and say, hey, we got 12 days, baby.
Start up a couple bikes and rev them up a little bit. Look, we're at the Isle of Man. Man,
she puts on the lotion.
Oscar?
With the emphasis on man.
Hey, wait. Smith left so he wouldn't get dicked?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he left. He left so he wouldn't get dicked.
So now we can break out all the anus jokes.
Everywhere we went on the Isle of Man, everywhere we went, people apologized to us. Like, they did. People that run museums and shit, they legit apologized to us. And we got these little badges. We got these little badges for our hat that gave us access to every museum on the island. And we went to all of them. So one was like, well, if you get on the bus, it's a 17-hour bus ride. We're in.
And do you remember that one of the last ones that we went? They even gave us sandwiches, and they had muffins and shit and coffee and everything for free. And I was like, oh, cool, okay.
They were bribing us with snacks and cookies and sandwiches to go to one of the best museums I've ever been at in my life, because it was Joey Dunlop's friend of the family that had built, and they had probably 75 two-stroke race bikes that were all Isle of Man driven shit. And
what would happen if we all showed up at the Isle of Man today?
It'd be the greatest thing ever.
We're like, hey, we're here for the Isle of Man. Really? Off-season? Customers? Business? Yeah, come on.
I'm not joking. We did it the way that we did it. This is how bad it is of an addiction. Once you go there, we did it the way we did it. While we were there in the process of doing it, I was already thinking about how we were going to change it up to make it different the next time. Like using the green lanes and going off-road and doing it dirty style and that kind of thing. And then also maybe renting a bike, because our housemate rented a bike and spent a fortune renting a bike and rented the world's most unreliable brand new Triumph. That bike died underneath him twice or three times.
Wow.
Yeah, they had to change it up to a different one, right? He had to drop it off and get another one because
He rode 3 bikes.
Yeah.
In 11 days, he killed 2 Triumphs and had to ride all the way across the island to go back to the livery to get another bike. So like,
but most of the people that we met have been there 6, 7, 8 times. I mean, few people we were actually meeting that they were the first timers like we were. Most people have been there.
It was great.
It's too bad you don't have something like a Moto Compo where you could just pack it with you and send it over there and then ride it around.
We thought about that, actually taking the foldable bicycles and just
I swear to God,
taking that.
I'm not joking. We could put 6 or 7 or 8 SSR 125s on a pallet, strap them on, wrap
them on.
Saran.
So knowing how far you guys went to get there and stuff, right? You know, that anybody coming from the US or areas like that are going to be diehard people into it, right? Yeah. But like, obviously, if you're in Europe or somewhere kind of close by, it's not that big of a trip. So in the general public, when you guys were walking around and stuff, is it mostly like hardcore fucking motorcycle guys, or is it kind of like a trendy tourist thing for Europeans too?
No.
Motorcycle.
100% motorcycle riders. If they didn't ride there across the water, they were making apologies for it.
Okay.
You know, I would have ridden here, however, right? And so for Oscar and me, they have this thing called bucket listers, and we're bucket listers. So they would say like, oh, these guys are bucket listers. Just going to Isle of Man and going to go there one time to experience it. But then everybody we talked to was like, yeah, you say you're doing it one time, but unless you're here with your casket following behind you, you're going to make plans for it to be here next year too.
That's what we said about Mid-Ohio. It's like nobody's ever gone to Mid-Ohio and said, yeah, that's fun. I probably won't see you next year. They're all like, I'm coming back here. I'm doing this every year.
Mid-Ohio is the same deal.
So Dan on the Vulcan Dan just said that Isle of Man right now only has in a total of 436 COVID cases in total.
Yeah, I mean that's
out of 1,000 people that live there.
There's a YouTube channel called Unrestricted Isle. This is a blatant plug. This is a friend of ours that we met via this shit. Unrestricted Isle. We were nice enough to not stalk him and make him feel weird. But then he sent the guy that was making him feel weird to go sleep with us. So and go figure. We love the guy. He's great. So, but Unrestricted Isle is the name of the YouTube channel. And he's a guy that lives there, 365, girlfriend, friend, the whole thing. And he rides motorcycles to work every day on the mountain course. And he does track days on the island. Like he participates in the motorcycle culture 100%. And he's a young guy and he does all the cool stuff. And I think he just got COVID. So go to his website, check him out. It's called Unrestricted Isle. And once you go to the website,
Nick's technique for the safety squints.
What's that?
I like Nick's technique for the safety squints.
The safety squints.
I was going to ask, what are you doing there, Nick?
I'm cleaning a carburetor.
Oh, perfect.
See, this is why
I thought you were shooting your own YouTube channel.
Well, thanks to Nick's YouTube channel, as a result of Nick makes and breaks things.
Yep.
Oh, there's Unrestricted Isle. There he is. And so if you go look at his videos, he's just a really nice guy, and don't ask him to stay at his house.
Steve,
He'll make you stay with us.
Steve, I've got to go pee. Do you want to come with me?
Oh no.
So Nick is now officially monetized, right?
Hell yeah.
That's it.
I've made $2.67 in the past 2 days.
Yes.
Good rain, Nick.
Well done. Hey, you know what? You've done better with that than most people have done with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And you didn't burn up a video card in the process.
I made a bunch on Bitcoin.
Really?
I bought it at $9,000 and I sold it at 33,000.
You invested. Yeah.
Nice.
Ride safe, not slow. There you go. Yeah.
Hey,
That's Unrestricted Isle's Facebook.
Yeah, Unrestricted Isle. I'm going to say, if that was such an important thing for me, when we decided to go to watch all of his videos to kind of get an idea for the way the things worked. So that was great. But so Nick's, as a result of watching Nick's YouTube channel, I have then started finding things on Facebook Marketplace that I wouldn't have looked for, including small remote control cars. That link that I made was for 3, not 1, but 3 mutant remote control cars. Like, they're not like a remote control car, like a normal remote control car. No, they're the screw drive remote control cars, or like the flippy floppy upside downy, works in any configuration.
The cheaper and cheesier, the better.
Well, I would say that for $20, those were 3 winners, my
It
friend.
was really good, and one of them was one of the ones that Nikki used on one of your videos.
Yep, it's the Hot Wheels terrain twisters, the screw tank style. One.
The titty
That
twister.
looks cool, man. I want one too.
You know what you messed up?
Speaking of money, Steve needs to buy his daughter an engagement ring for his future, hopefully, son-in-law.
Wait,
He just hit big on the Super Bowl.
What happened?
Yeah, my daughter's boyfriend hit big on the Super Bowl, $142,000.
What kind of bet do you have to make to win that kind of money?
Yeah.
It was some obscure bet, like
I was gonna say,
like defensive, like he had to pick 2 defensive players. I don't even know what he did.
That had to be
My daughter tried to explain it to me, like he picked 2 like defensive players that made something in that they wouldn't score any touchdown.
yeah, that's
So
side
an
action.
obscure
right
bet
there.
that nobody made. And so because he made that bet and because the pool was so small,
Right.
he made a lot of money, but good for him.
Yeah.
And you know what? The kid is smart. He paid off his college loans.
Then he can pay for his own wedding ring.
I said elope.
Yeah.
So- but wait,
I would be taking my daughter to the nearest fucking jeweler and be like, here's a set of engagement rings. See if you better pop the question quick.
Just hide her birth control. Just take all the little pills out and replace them with chiclets or whatever.
Yeah, you're grab the. Start
Pretty soon she'll have a bun in the oven and you got a new sound.
oh yeah,
That was
poke
good.
the hole in the.
Oh, nice condom, dude.
Yeah. Why do my birth controls taste like sweet tarts?
Hey, Americade has switched to September.
Oh,
Nick, what you got in the basket, buddy?
This is what my can you see the? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. This is my Harbor Freight ultrasonic cleaner basket, and it is it is crumbling.
Yeah, they disintegrate. They literally dry out. Yeah.
so Nick, you're going to cost me $1 million at some point. So
How's that?
I really had a hard time not figuring out a way to sell everything I own to buy the KZ900 Cafe green and white.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so, but I didn't, because it's not my thing. And I'm kind of a Suzuki guy now and stuff. And I have all my 850s. So Nick sends me this artist rendition that whatever. And if they fucking make this bike,
Easy for you to say.
I will sell my wife to get this bike. Look at this fucking thing. It's the West Cooley, but it's like the new 20.
It's a West Cooley replica.
Yeah, but it's a 2020. Look, it's all new and shit, man.
That's a Westplica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they make this bike, I will buy it 100%. I don't care. I will stab somebody and murder people and do
There's enough there going on to legitimately honor the original bike.
Even this right here, they never get this right, and they got the whole fucking side panel thing.
Well, they got it right. They got the tail right. They got the weird square headlight.
They didn't fuck this all up.
Yeah, they got that right.
And the only thing he fucked up though is that it needs the mirrors coming off right here.
Yeah. Well, that's because DOT. You can fix that.
Yeah.
So is that like a Suzuki Gixxer or something with the West Cooley bodywork kind of?
It looks like one of the 4-cylinder liter bike.
Yeah, frames, whatever.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
But if they made that, they would sell so many of these. See, here's the thing I don't get about manufacturers. Some dude makes this, they put it out there. There's like 200 million dudes that are like, I'll sell my wife, kill a dog, and murder somebody to get this bike, and then they don't fucking do it.
Right.
That's only the 3 people that want it.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
No, but then they come out with one, 5 years later.
That I think that the replica, the rendering is built off of the Katana. I'm comparing like a photo, and the engine looks the same.
The motor looks the same because the transmission configuration on the GSXR is different than it is on that bike. So that bike is the more street or the more, mild mannered version. It's not the full on balls to the wall GS.
Right. It has a similar exhaust too.
Yep, exactly. So which is what it should be. We don't want to take somebody and take a CBR 600 or a CBR 1000 RRR and turn that into a standard, a sporting standard or something, because it would be awful.
Has anybody called that the CBR Pirate yet or no?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, the R3. Yeah. The CBR3. Yeah, it's awful. Just awful.
Yeah, but I would like to see a VF. I would like to see a cam-driven VF 700 as a standard.
Did you guys see that our friend Tom Pennington down in New Orleans is battling with a semi-modern BMW ABS controller?
Oh, lucky him.
This is it. If you guys want to know where hell lies in the belief that you can buy a $3,000 shaft drive liquid cooled BMW or an oilhead BMW, that you're like, oh my God, this is a BMW. It's a boxer motor and it's only $3,000. Big deal. It's got an ABS light on. No problem.
Yeah, nice try, because that stupid
nice paperweight.
Power brakes on that thing are the best or the worst.
I did see that they did have a Second Life kit, which I love the name of it. The Second Life kit for the BMW to replace the OEM box, the OEM ABS box. And it's only like 700 pounds for one item, for one piece. And you have to then retro engineer everything to put the son of a bitch in. Old BMWs, this is a tip from your Unkie Phil. If you think that you're going to fool everybody and buy an R1100 RTP or whatever for $3,000, I got a BMW for short money. The second the ABS starts to play up on you on that bike, you are going to enter a world of shit.
Because no one's ever changed the fluid in it. Because
exactly. Right, you're right. The fluid on those BMWs was designed to be changed every 46 hours. And if you didn't change the fluid every 46 hours, that ABS controller just crunched up on you.
Wait, you have to change the fluid in the ABS controller? No, there's
fluid in the ABS, the fluid in the brakes.
There's the brake. There's two circuits in it, though. There's the circuit from the handle and the circuit to the calipers.
Yep.
And if you don't do that, and if you do it wrong, you're totally fucked.
Hey, so speaking of BMWs, you know how like motorcycle and car BMW owners are very particular, right?
Bring more wallet.
And if you're into vintage BMWs, then there's like a lot of holy grail cars and all this stuff. So
I have an E3.
Right. So like, like the E, whatever, the M, or maybe it's the M330, or there's like whatever, 1980.
An original 320i.
Right. So this BMW guy found a mint, like 20,000 mile, like 1985 fucking M3, whatever. And it was like all these BMW guys were jerking each other off, and it was going to be like a $200,000 car, and everybody loved it.
Yeah.
And some rapper swooped in. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. This rapper swooped in and took this unobtainium car.
Right.
That like there's one in the entire world. It had red interior, it was originally Alpine white, and turned it into this, which actually is kind of respectable, but
oh my God, look at the fucking headlights.
So all the BMW guys are like crying, and they're saying it's like the worst thing that's ever happened in the history of BMW ever, because he destroyed this car. And I'm like, he did all right, man.
It's an M3, and he made it into a rally, a rally tribute car.
But supposedly the original one sold for like $250,000, because it was the car. It was like every BMW guy was like they would hold each other's dicks talking about this car, just feeling throbbing about it. And then this dude comes in and just hacks the fucker up.
Usually you can hang around BMW car guys until they mention the bat. And then when they mention the bat, just fucking leave. Just go away. That's when it just got too fucking weird, and they're going to start tweaking each other's nipples and stuff at that point. Just go away.
So Vulcan Dan says that he has a theory that BMWs are only designed to last 10 years.
Right. No, he's right.
Yep.
He's right. He's absolutely right. Modern BMWs.
Modern ones, the old ones were designed to last for infinity.
Right. Yep. Some of our podcast listeners will, when I say Chris Winters, I'll mention a name and I'll say Chris Winters, and people are like, oh, we know that guy. And so we knew a person that was selling like a 13-year-old BMW, and it was 70,000 or 80,000 miles, and it was in decent shape, and the car was like cheap. It was like $3,500, and that is like a really cheap way for somebody to get into a BMW car. No, every fucking thing underneath it, suspension, steering box, like all that stuff is like, it's like $10,000 to make it all work correctly. So
the problem with BMW is that they have this philosophy that the whole car has to be recyclable.
Yep.
So everything on it is like a lot of the parts are like biodegradable.
Yeah.
So if you have a biodegradable part on your car, it's already degrading the day it's made.
Right.
So all these kind of like you can't buy a fan blade like for the in the heating and cooling system. You have to buy the whole thing.
Yep.
You can't. So the fans are designed. They're probably made out of cornstarch. So as soon as they get wet, they disintegrate. So and they're totally over-engineered too. I mean, I love German cars. I mean, I had an A4. I love Audis. I mean, I love BMWs, but they're totally over-engineered, and they have like every single cam chain on all those cars. The cam chain tensioners are shit.
Well, BMWs are notorious. Modern BMWs are notorious for a timing cam chain system that is not serviceable.
Right. I have a question about this.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have a timing chain tensioner, it's a chain.
Right.
Why isn't there a metal sprocket on an actual bearing?
Yeah.
That is. Why is it always a rubber wheel or a slider or something like that? I mean, like, isn't there a better timing chain tensioner?
Yeah, but the idea is it has to be quiet, so it can't sound like a 1941 fucking Sherman tank. So BMW's had their timing chain lawsuit that's been happening now for years, and BMW is like, yes, they're defective, and now they're like, okay, well, good luck getting us to pay for it, because if you own a BMW after like 2011, you're just fucked. I mean, it is one of these class action deals. Like I think it's the N20 and the N26 motors. Maybe they are just notorious, and I would never consider buying a lightly pre-owned BMW car because of that kind of crap. And it's like that gets out, and then the lawyers have a discussion to be like, well, is it better to fix the problem or pay the lawsuits? Well,
just take it apart, open it up,
get
a self tapper and a roller skate wheel. Take up the slack and zap it in there.
And you're perfect. And that's
Call Cam. Call Cam. Call Cam.
Yeah. A million years ago, I was the proud owner of a 1968 Lincoln Continental with a 462 cubic inch plant.
Yeah,
and it was an
engine that would last for freaking ever.
Suicide doors, V8, awesome. Baby blue, black vinyl Landau top, blue 100% pure blue cow interior, AM with an 8-track, right? And I was driving it at an irresponsible speed as a young adult, a teenager. And the timing cam let go, the timing cam chain let go because in 1968, that son of a bitch had a vinyl.
Oh, yeah.
It had a vinyl timing cam chain gear.
Don't you mean Bakelite?
No, it was fucking vinyl. I know, because I had to clean it out of everywhere. Little pieces of white plastic everywhere in the motor. And
then GM said, those Lincolns all blew up with that vinyl timing chain cam.
We want more of that.
We can put it in too.
We can do it too. And it did. And it blew the fuck up, and it left me stranded on the side of the road because, it was like It was a 20-year-old car. I'm sorry. It was a 19-year-old car with 70,000 miles on it. And, you know, a 19-year-old car with 70,000 miles on it, of course it's going to blow up because it was made in America in the late 60s.
Every engine should be designed like a 22R.
Yes, exactly.
Toyota 22R. You cannot destroy that engine. It's got a double row steel cam chain, and the tensioners never go bad. It's the ultimate. It's the ultimate engine.
And I feel the same way about my Toyota V6, the V6 that's in my Tundra. I'm absolutely certain that there'll be aliens walking around on this planet, and they'll be finding those motors, and they'll all still work. You know,
it's a 5VEZ, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a thing where they had the guy that hit like 1 million and something miles, the oil guy that went from Texas back and forth and stuff?
He had over 1 million miles on his Tundra.
Took apart his motor and it looked fucking perfect.
Yeah, and they said the biggest surprise in the entire thing was they thought the seat would have held up better, but he weighed 350 pounds.
He was a big boy, right.
Yeah. And so they were like, we really got to work on that seat. Like, okay, cool.
Not valve seat, not timing, nothing.
Just run forever.
Seat, yeah.
How about the frames that turn into dust, or the differentials that turn into dust, and all the shitty metal they used in it? I mean, the drive.
That's again. Nobody in the world can understand how Cleveland spends the rock salt that lives under our lake. Since our rock salt is free here because it's literally under our fucking lake, we spend rock salt like it's the world's easiest currency. So that's why cars don't last here. You know, that's it.
Thank God for
Steve, do we have the floating pecker?
Yeah, we're getting there. Hold on. Stand by.
I'm fucking totally awake.
Yeah, right.
I'm just relaxing.
You're getting dicked.
I think the odds. I think at some point they were up to $20, weren't they?
Yeah.
On the side bets, on the side action for who's going to sleep first. I think that was it.
The drool off his face. That kind of.
Hold on, let me get the sleep out of my eyes here. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's funny.
That seems fair. All right. So anybody else got anything fun?
Yeah, I got one thing.
Fire it away, Dan.
I showed this before. This came in the mail today. I ordered it because of you guys, and kind of realized I have a couple things that are awesome accessories for this.
Didn't you get one of those at the podcast?
Huh?
Didn't we give you one of those?
No, I don't think I wasn't there when you guys did that.
Oh, shit. No, I might get you one. Yeah, but you have one now, so great.
I got one.
Okay.
I've got this. I've got a Wera screwdriver that's kind of cool. It's got some of the same bits in it.
Yes.
That tapes.
Yep. That's a really good screwdriver. Yep.
Good locking. And I was thinking that 1/4-inch T-handle ratchet that I gave you guys would be a great accessory for that too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, Dan, send me a link to that screwdriver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just text it to me or something.
Yeah, just put it up on the group
text because I really want to get one of those.
It's a cool screwdriver. That's super cool. Yep.
I've already got the web page up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super cool. The I don't know who was it. Was it John that said he hasn't had good luck with his vessels?
I was over here working when I was taking that starter off the CB350. Mm-hmm. I tried out the vessels. I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity. The screws wouldn't come out.
Right.
And I whapped it again. I'm like, am I not using this thing right? Trying to turn it and whap it and turn it and whap it. Took a chunk out of my thumb. Shit. And I finally went over and grabbed my old Craftsman impactor and whap. It took it right out. So I don't know. It could be just user error, but I was a little less than impressed.
With the vessels, I mean, to me, they, just like anything, you put a little bit of a preload on it, just a tiny bit of a preload on it, and then you give it a smash. Now, it only works backwards because anybody who did an impact in the forward direction is just the Antichrist. But
that's why you had the problem in the first place.
Exactly. You know what? They make those impacts that go forward just to fuck the next guy. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's always F, right?
Mm-hmm.
My eyes are clearly open there.
They are clearly open there.
Fuck you. But at least I got the schniz instead of the fucking dick.
You got a vajankle. In case you were wondering, this is a vajankle.
I'd fuck that real hard.
Put the bacon. Oh no, that's reflection of the bacon on top of the Corvette.
I'd fuck that real hard.
I just like that somebody fucking made a vajankle. Like, what kind of weird fucks are out there that you need to have a vajankle?
Probably listening to this podcast.
Like, I'd like to fuck a piece of rubber, but it'd be better if it were shaped like a foot.
This little piggy went to the market.
It's like, I'd be like, people are like,
this little piggy went,
I can't. It's like, why would you want to fuck a piece of pastry? Like, there's all kinds of people that are into all kinds of weird stuff. And I'm like, you're taking away the fact that it's pastry. Like, like, is your goal to eat it later? Because if your goal to eat it later, that's a totally different thing, and that's fine.
But you know how fun it would be? You know how fun
look up a splorch.
I don't know.
Have you ever heard of a splorch?
I will. But
a splorch is an ovipositor.
Okay, I will look up a splorch in a minute. Can you imagine taking a
Google that shit,
dude, to like a normal bakery on a Sunday with a bunch of people, and he's just trying to look at all the apple strudels without poking somebody in the eye? Fucking great. A splorch, huh, John? Is this what we're looking up?
So Chris Smith bailed out, so I'll tell you Chris Smith's joke for today.
All right.
You okay with that?
Sure.
Are we okay with having a stand-in, a surrogate for Chris Smith's joke?
Somebody's got to do it.
All right. So these three guys go to prison, and it's in a third world country, and they go into prison, and they say, okay, well, you're each going to get 30 lashes. And so they pull the first guy up, and they're like, we're going to give you 30 lashes, but you can put anything on your back you want. And the first guy says, Terry goes up, and Terry goes, I want oil on my back. Put oil on my back. And they put oil on his back, and they give him 30 lashes, and he's just screaming in agony. And they said, okay. So Jerry goes up, and they go, Jerry, you're going to get 30 lashes, but what do you want on your back? And Jerry goes, no, I want nothing on my back. Fuck you. And they give Jerry 30 lashes, and he's screaming, but you know what? Fuck you. And so Perry goes up, and they go, well, Perry, you're going to get 30 lashes. What do you want on your back? And he goes, Jerry.
So there's a splorch.
Yeah, you guys.
What that is?
What?
Yeah. You'll never be able to watch The Mandalorian ever again. You'll never be able to watch the Yoda, the end of the first season thing, where Yoda's just like chomping on a whole alien species, like just a completely 100%. Yeah. Well, this is the device for inserting those things.
Oh,
terrible. Yeah.
It's an ovipositor.
Yeah, it's not good at all. Like, yeah. And that's the thing is you're like, oh, look, this is my night in. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to give myself a spa treatment. I'm going to give myself a facial and a nice hot bath. And then I'm going to go implant an egg in myself. And you know what's going to happen is like 9 hours later, that thing's going to melt. And that's what it is. Do your research. It's not there so they can put it in and be like, oh, later on comes out. No, that thing melts. It actually, it
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you know what sounds really good? Like a Chinese finger trap flashlight.
It's an egg.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
It's supposed to be for people who fantasize about being raped by an alien.
Honest to God, true story. Nick, you'll appreciate this as a hobby guy. So
That's a hobby guy.
I can't imagine where this is going.
Oh, God.
back in the day, I flew giant scale airplanes, right? Big ones, right? And in the winter in Ohio and stuff, we'd fly little tiny foam airplanes inside golf domes and shit, right?
Yeah.
And so it got to be like you had to modify a Dremel to mill like 2-3 mil foam out and take half the weight out. So the whole fucking thing weighed like 3 ounces. So it would fly really slow and everything, you know? And then you would glue it together with like this foam safe super glue and shit, right? And foam safe super glue sucks. It's not really quick. You have to hold the shit for a long time. So I was still with my ex-wife living in Lyndhurst, and I'm my nerd self in the basement building this fucking airplane in a pair of sweatpants. You know, I don't give a fuck. I'm down there and I'm dumping glue on this thing and it's not sticking, and I'm dumping more glue and it's not sticking, and I'm dumping more glue. And I'm down there and I start to feel kind of weird. And I'm like, huh. But then, so I found my kicker, and when you hit CA with kicker, it chemically acts, it goes, and it just bonds real quick. So I hit the airplane and everything with kicker, and my pants explode in basically a flash of like, oh my God, what did I just do? Apparently the glue had dripped off the airplane and down onto my sweatpants, which then had covered my junk and my underwear. So when I hit the kicker on it, it flashed at about 800 degrees and welded my dick to my fucking pants. So I'm going, ah, and I'm screaming, and my ex-wife comes walking down the steps, and she's like, what are you doing? And at that point, I had pulled my pants down, so I'm naked, and my dick is stuck to my pants, and she just goes, I don't even want to know what you're doing right now, and she just leaves. So I'm sitting there, and I'm looking, and I super glued my cock to my underwear, which is inside my pants. Now I'm like, fuck, what do I do? I don't know what to do here, man. So I had to go and find some like debonding shit. I got like mineral spirits. Now I'm dumping mineral spirits on my junk to try to get it to debond from the fucking super glue that is now bedded everything in my week.
Did you seal it shut?
No, I didn't seal it shut. And then I got divorced 3 weeks later. So I mean, that happened. He's like, I don't know what this guy's into, but I don't want to be a part of that anytime soon.
You tried to take a leak and it looked like one of the kids in the backyard playing with one of those old pump-up rockets.
Oh, dude.
Oh, it's one of those hoses, those leaker hoses.
Silly snake.
Yeah, the silly worm just squirting all over the place.
Wacky worm.
Yeah. So we did install 2 toilets now, so when I pee, it just goes that way, and we're fine. So
don't cross the streams.
Yeah.
So we figure for the property, John and I have an idea to get a 2-toilet, put 2 toilets in a building right attached to the old pole barn.
Okay.
And a shower. So that if we do if Mid-Ohio does not happen, but if Mid-Ohio doesn't happen, we'll have a place it'll be reasonably civilized.
Well, and you know what? That's true, because everybody likes to say, no matter what event you go to, you're like, what do you bring to the party? The guy who brings a double-headed shitter, everyone likes that guy.
But yeah, it'll be clean. It'll be hosable. You'll be able to take a shower. I mean, it'll be nice.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So I was thinking, like, once you guys set this up, one of the main things we all like to do is hang out and do stuff at Mid-Ohio. Just kind of like whatever. We could have like a Mid-Ohio every couple of weeks at your like, you know what I mean? Like, it would be a nice getaway, like once a month at least or something.
You think it sounds like a good idea. It's a terrible idea.
I know. Yeah. But at least if we space it 4 weeks, we could heal in between each time. So
look, man, alcoholism does catch up to you.
That's true.
We have people that don't come here anymore because it can catch you. Like if you don't stay running, it catches you. Yeah. So you have to, when it comes to alcoholism, you got to stay running. If you get into a circle, like you get into an orbit, and it'll catch you. Right? It'll just wait for you to come around again, and then the next thing you know, you're drunk. Yeah. Alcoholism is very tricky. And if you give it that many opportunities, trust me, I've been one step ahead of it since I've been like 19 years old. Yeah. It's don't let it catch you. If it knows where you're going to be next weekend, you'll probably be an alcoholic.
We'll be in Oberlin now, I can tell you that.
I'm telling you, you keep showing up at the same place over and over again, alcoholism will catch you. Yeah,
we can get an exorcist or something.
Tell the alcoholism you're going to be over there, and then you be over here. That's the trick. Everyone else has got a drink in their hand, and you don't. You just fooled alcoholism. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for fixing that, Steve.
No problem.
So we'll see what goes on. But yeah, we could just do a Mid-Ohio every weekend in my basement. Why not? Sure. That's not Mid-Ohio. That's a sex dungeon. It's just like 8 old guys talking about the same CT70 in the corner. Trail 70.
Right about here.
Yeah. What's the difference?
But we could have fire.
I think it needs to be right about here.
It would look like Nick's background picture, right? Just with old men. That's all it would be.
I thought that's what we were trying to achieve. I'm confused.
It would be men in a figure 9 pattern, just circling those 3 bikes, and it was just like the mini Ohio, and it'd be great. And then, like, every once in a while, somebody walks through the Domino's pizza for $73.
We could do this at my house because there's a Little Caesars right down the street.
Perfect. Oh. And if they could bring it by in a golf cart.
Yeah, we need to we'll have to have them. We'll have to build a golf cart for them.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And if you're like, oh, well, I got to go to the bathroom. Okay, that's great. You can go over there and poo in a bucket or something. And that would, simulate the whole experience. That would be it. And then you fall asleep and it's 6:30 in the morning. Somebody wakes you up with a weed whacker this close to your ear. It's just like being there. Yeah.
Well, I got some, my friend was getting rid of tractor tires. So I got those as fire pits for the property.
You just light the tire on fire and you're good to go.
I was going to say,
for the whole winter, for the whole weekend.
They're the rims, not the rims.
Tires. I was literally going to say, tractor tire as a fire pit.
Tires, but the rims. So.
I was going to say, I think Winnie Mandela had that same thing. She would just run up to you and throw one over you.
That's called the Ethiopian necktie?
Ethiopian necklace, right? It's like, it was like, tractor tires can't make a good fire pit.
Well, sorry, I meant to say rims.
One time.
The rims. So
yeah, the rims. Perfect. Now that's on target. Yeah, that's
like
pretty cool.
They're 4 or 5 feet in diameter, so I mean, I guess that's illegal.
Yeah, there we go.
Right. Oh, we just got demonetized. All right.
They will never find that in the middle of this video. No. Sniffer, that sniffer.
Literally. Okay, go to the 1 hour and 51 minute point 16.
You realize my daughter's watching this on Twitch right now.
That's right.
No problem.
Yep. Dan just sent her a picture of his junk.
More sophisticated. The first one was shriveled like whatever it was.
What I think is hilarious is on the Twitch, all of our listener are chiming in.
Right.
All of him.
Is it Rand?
No, there's eight people. But you know what? We have to promote it. We literally posted it like 6:57. Like, hey, if you're interested in coming on, and we're going to do this in 10 minutes. So hey, just letting you know.
And again, how is that any different than anything else we've ever done? That is formula for success shall never be compromised.
Well, I'm a little concerned now because you guys had me look up all this weird shit to fuck with John that I'm on an FBI list for
probably
the Vajanka and the spleem or whatever the fuck you don't know.
I just looked up an ovipositor for no apparent reason whatsoever. It's okay because I did it on Twitch, which is a platform mostly occupied by children.
Yeah, right.
And Oscar.
What can go wrong?
We have a warning. We have a warning. It says, "Are you over the age of like 15 or so?" I don't know. It says, "You can't watch us unless you're older."
Really?
Yeah. Because like you can get in trouble if you're not honest. So there's a bit of adult content on this podcast. Just
so we're mature.
Says the guy sitting in front of a field of weed.
Well, yes. And for the record, we all got here, but we are just visitors. Oscar lives here, right? So like as much as we are vacationing in the land of Twitch, Oscar has an address here. Like Oscar's like, the age limit is only real if they aren't animated, right? Because animated can be any age whatsoever. It's fine, right? So good. She was clearly 46 years old,
and her splork was ready to go. Man, I could tell. or splorch, or what was it called?
I literally just expect to see nothing but dudes like Krieger from Archer,
Right.
just having their own avatars. Room. And it's like you walk into this room and it's just all these incredibly sexy, hot Asian avatars. And then you see behind the curtain and it's literally this. It's what you're looking at right here, right now.
Yeah.
Well, my avatar would be a little puffier.
Nick unzips his head and Nick turns out to be a 72-year-old giant fat guy.
this little group right here looks like every gas station when you pull up on a vintage motorcycle anywhere in the state of Ohio.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen one of those.
I'd love to buy more lottery tickets, but I got to go talk to that guy.
I see you're about to leave and it looks like your friends are in a hurry. Let me stop you for about 15 minutes and talk to you right now.
Yep. Yeah, can't fake that out whatsoever. So I honestly,
Steve just told me a story about a guy he ran into in what was it, Rochester or something, or when you were coming back from Indiana.
I wanted to save that for this. If I ever get invited to this whatever it is,
the motor stories with Unkie Phil.
I have a really good story.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll save that.
We're making the rounds.
Yeah, 100%.
We have stories that we're setting aside just for Oscar.
Oh yeah, we brought up ideas.
Yeah, we have stories we're setting aside just for you. Yep. Like the joy of it is now that McElfresh has actually done it, we kind of have it in a system. Yeah. Like Steve and Fernando have done a really good job of making the Moto Stories thing work, and we tested it to see if it was breakable with Stefan. Yeah, and Stefan didn't break it. Oh, so if Stefan can't break it, it's unbreakable. Yeah, right. It's what I like to call unfuckwithable.
Yeah. And the interaction is cool, and like I don't know. Yeah, it'll be good.
Good time. Yeah, we have a good time, and it's heartbreaking, as John will tell you. We're sitting here getting ready, and Fernando and Steve are doing legit work. Like they're doing real work.
He's done. No, he's done.
It would be like if you showed up at Disneyland and they were like, "Okay, wait, we're going to build the ride."
Yeah.
and that's what it is. You get there and you're like, "We're going to do this," and it's like, "Oh no, hold on. There's like 19,000 feet of cable that needs to be laid out."
Well, and the most exciting part about all this is that my daughter or somebody that was using my computer set it to automatic updates, and it updated to the new Big Sur thing, which completely killed my computer's ability to edit video. So now when I can do it, but instead of like being smooth, now everything I do takes 3 minutes instead of like immediately. It's fucking horror. I want to stab everybody out.
I don't see why you'd have to edit any of that stuff though.
No, that stuff's all gold.
No, it's cool, but you have to go to different angles and stuff. And then, when you pee yourself a little bit, I have to take that off and cut the fill, when you weren't looking. And
Here's my imitation of John after his 17th Mai Tai. So anyway, you look right here.
The best thing, I was like, you nailed it. I was like, John, here's what we're going to do. Anytime you're talking about a carburetor or something, I will pull up something. And when I'm editing it, I will pull it up. So you don't have to get up. You don't have to do anything. He's like, okay. He's talking. He's like, hold on a minute. And he just runs up to the camera and just shoves the carburetor into the camera. So in the screen, all you see is like a fucking gorilla attacking the lens, and then it's all out of focus and shit. And then he goes running back, and he's like, "Was that okay?" I'm like, fucking great.
Dropped his microphone. Shit is going haywire.
Pardon me.
He's gone haywire.
There was plumber crack about this deep hanging out the back of the whole situation. At that point, I'm like, oh, God, we have a second camera angle. That's good.
And I got to take my pants down and fix them real quick.
I'm super gluing the lens back together after it broke. It was terrible, dude.
Let me just fix my britches.
It was hilarious. And it was just one of those things where, look, I'm around drunk people all the time. I make drunk people. It's one of the things I build. And I saw this situation. I was like, ooh, we're getting close. We're getting real close. And then I was
you kept going, let me get you another drink there, John. My favorite part, though, you are a sneaky fucker, too, because John was almost done, and you're like,
oh no!
Half of your drink and his.
Did you see me? I totally balanced out. So it got to the point where I was like, "Ooh!" you don't get this. You don't get like this until you understand. Like there's drinking is a competitive event, and I have lost a lot. Mm-hmm. And watching John though, John was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And he's like, "Oh." And but it got to the point where I was like, "Oh, this is getting good." But there is the thing with John, because John goes from like, "This is the best John you're ever going to have," to being too much fun.
Is the Chocolate Thunder episode posted yet?
We did not do a Chocolate Thunder White Lightning story. We did not. That's not where we went.
If on the old podcast, is that posted yet?
Oh, that's somewhere. Yeah, that's out in the world. We just have to figure out what episode.
I don't think that's.
I want to listen to that one so badly right now. I was out today. We went down to Rural King to buy me a jacket.
Oh,
and we drove past the Brass Pole, which is out there in Oberlin. Just so we all know that not too far from the farm.
No, it's pretty close.
Is the Brass Pole. And Nick commented, I'm like, "Have you ever been in there, Nick?" And Nick's like, "I had to go in there one time when I was working over here for the thing, and we had to go get a sample, and that was the only place that was open." And he's like, "Yeah, I saw a girl in there that I went to high school with." And I'm like, that's perfect.
You'll never see so many stretch marks in your life.
I saw a girl I went to high school with, and her daughter, and their babysitter. And they were all working together. So, yeah, and it is true that a lot of motorcycle events are just enhanced just a little bit by having a strip club nearby.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you count all the people in there, you get one set of teeth.
Oh.
You just pass them around when they eat corn.
Occasionally you get a couple of guys putting in their going to town teeth.
They're fancy going to meeting teeth.
I carved these out of some silver maple.
You got your summer teeth. Some are here, some are there. That's it.
To go along with her butterface.
Okay.
Everything looks good but her face.
Right. That's it. Boy, she's ugly. You're not looking in the right places. That's it.
The toothbrush was invented in West Virginia.
Look a little deep.
Brush. It's called the toothbrush for a reason.
Look a little deeper, and I think you'll find some beauty there.
Oscar will tell you about that. We ran into those girls outside of the Mexican flea market in Vegas.
Oh.
Were you there for that? Were we all crammed into the room?
No, but I know where you talking about. I've been in Vegas.
Hand to God. Been to a lot of strip clubs in Vegas. Most of them are awful, and they just want your money and the whole deal. We went outside of town to the Mexican flea market.
The flea market, yeah.
And then there's La Chicas Bonitas, or Bonitas Chicas. I can't remember, but it's one of the two. But my Spanish is bad. But that place, we went in there, and the beer pitchers.
Yeah, that was with Ropa, right?
Yeah, and the beer pitchers were chained to the table. They weren't really.
When I went out there with my boss, I tried everything in my power to get him to go there. I'm like, "Come on, I know about this place. It's called La Chicas Bonitas. We got to go there. Come on, it's the cheapest titty bar you can go to."
The stools were legit chained to the floor.
It was like
you couldn't steal them, and you couldn't hit anybody with them.
So in my head, all I'm thinking about is Titty Twister from Dusk to Dawn. Just like,
oh yeah,
this was the low budget Titty Twister. Like this was
fancy.
This was low budget. In fact, I think that the low stage might have been a tractor tire with a piece of plywood put in it. Yeah, it was straight up. It was a hard bar at 2 p.m. on a Sunday.
I can definitely see that at the Brass Pole.
It was not the place you want to fall in love.
Dude, that's not a brass pole. It's a muffler that they fucking to the top and bottom.
Well, but we went in there, all of our idiot friends, and their girlfriends and wives were like, "It's okay. We're going to stay in the car, but you guys have 30 minutes. And so it's like, okay, so they're like 6 deep in a Volkswagen Jetta, and there's like the 6 of us are in the club. And so that's fine. And we're like, okay, we got 30 minutes. So let's get 6 pitchers of beer right now, and we're going to go. And we were like, okay. And the first woman that came out obviously was the mother of most of the people that owned the place. And she danced a little bit, and it was great. And then the second girl who came out was kind of like, okay. But then the third girl that came out was a drop dead stone cold fox. Call my friends, ask, they'll verify it. She was impossibly beautiful and she was gorgeous. And we were just like, we need more time, because it took like 20 minutes for her to get out there. And we realized we were on the wrong side of the clock. And we sent somebody out to talk to the wives and girlfriends and say, there's been a scheduling error. We need more time. They were like, well, you can get a bus pass, I guess. And so we begged for more time. I went back in. We continued to amaze ourselves. And then one of the wives, Stina came in. Stina came in and was like, we're gone. This is it. You boys have had 45 minutes. The fun has drained out of this situation for us out in the car. And so we did not want to leave at all. And we did. We left and we fucked off. But all of us that were there, we will all tell you, go there. It's cool. But it's also the world's greatest flea market. So
sounds fun.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. So like I saw this dude who was selling a beachfront house in Baja, Mexico.
Yeah.
And he said that it's the house is $35,000, but then your lease of land, because you can't own land or something, is $3,000 a month or something.
Probably. Right.
Is that how it works there? Like you can buy the house, but you can't buy the land?
Only Mexican nationals can actually own property near the beach.
Okay.
So you're probably going to have someone else buy it for you, or maybe the land, and you can just pay for the house. But yeah, you cannot own beach.
So
property.
Foreigners can't actually own beachfront. That's actually kind of smart.
Right.
Fuck yeah.
That's what we need to do.
Block everything.
Oscar, can you help me out on this? Because I remember on one of our trips down to Mexico, I noticed there were tons of houses that were like not quite finished being built yet, and they didn't have a front door on them. But they were like, otherwise they were just like fully structured out and ready to go. But there was no door on it.
Did they have the broken bottles on the stone wall around it?
Yeah, that's after.
That's just cheap barbed wire. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was the deal with the no doors and like the houses that were like?
No, it's just construction companies. They make those, and either they don't have the funding for finishing them up, or there's no people buying them.
Okay.
You described this bar that was, I don't know where, on the coast where you would pee right off into the ocean.
Oh yeah.
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 I think that's a great idea for the property where, in Oberlin. I mean, to have the back of the property where it's just open, a bar like that.
Yeah.
Overlooking the ship area.
And just put a funnel. So you can just pee in the funnel and just
all the way to the wastewater treatment.
I mean, you wouldn't even need a funnel if you peed really hard. You could get it.
We're all over 50 except for Nick. So,
just a gutter. Just like a normal household gutter, rain gutter that goes all the way.
The only time I have pressure is about 3:30 in the morning when I have to get up and pee for no fucking apparent reason.
All right, well, that's good. I think that's all I got.
Yeah.
That's it. If you enjoyed the Twitch, that's great. Go check us out on the Moto Stories with Unkie Phil.
Yeah, we should probably promote Twitch occasionally.
Yeah, we might. We might want to. Now that we've done it twice and we're the pros.
We have a track record of actually showing up and doing it. So, yeah.
Streamers.
At first,
how cool are we, John? Our kids have to think we're awesome.
I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a streamer.
We're YouTubers, we're streamers, man.
Oh, and
Piper was asking me some terms, and I wish I could remember the name.
John, go to her and say, "Hey, are
there pods or something like that?" I don't know.
But just if you want to impress her, go up and be our CTR is like 69%, man. That's click-through rate in case you're not cool.
Wait, no, Steve, I have a question though before we go. Last week you touched on this thing where somebody called you like old man and all this other stuff, and I was like half asleep, I think. So,
on one of Cam's things.
So can you just kind of briefly tell me what happened there?
there was just a whole bunch of stuff about political stuff that's going on, and I was just like, wow, really?
Was this on like on a podcast, or was it?
No, it was just a Facebook thing, whatever. And then all these young 20-year-olds were just like, okay, boomer, and this call, and I was just like, you know what, man, like.
They weren't really 20-year-olds because real 20-year-olds wouldn't be on Facebook. These were 50-year-olds
right.
pretending to be 20-year-olds.
Well, my favorite thing was this one dude got all up in my shit and was talking all this American stuff, and then he was from Brazil.
Oh, of course.
So he had no fuck. I was like, because he was saying all this bullshit. I'm like, dude, meet me and I'll drive to Cuyahoga Falls and rip your larynx out. And he was like, haha, dude, I'm in Brazil. You're so stupid. Haha, whatever. And I'm like, okay, so you're a pussy in Brazil and you're trying to be cool. That's great. I come from a generation where like, yeah, okay, when somebody says a bunch of dumb shit, you want to fuck around? I'm nuts. I don't give a fuck. I'll stab you in the eye with something, like that's what I'll do, but whatever.
More importantly, I will bleed all over your shoes.
Yeah.
I'll stab you in the eye with a
thing or two.
No, but it is interesting to hear, like, so generations are different, and it's kind of funny how, like, I guess, we kind of take things seriously. Like if you're my friend and whatever, and you say nice things, whatever, it's cool. If you don't, okay, whatever. These guys have different relationships. Internet is different than real life. You can just be a complete cocksucker on the internet, but that doesn't really mean that you're a cocksucker in real life. So I'm starting.
Nobody knows you're a dog on the internet.
Yeah.
Or a cat.
Or a cat.
Well, if you want to have interactive,
the same
kind of be reasonable. I mean, if you ever want to see somebody again in person, you better goddamn well be reasonable with them. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
They did figure out what the episode for Chocolate Thunder is 151.
Of course it is. Of course it's 151. Of course it's 150.
You guys planned that shit. You guys knew it was one. You were like, oh, we're bringing 151 to 151.
Wait, where is it though? Is it online?
Yeah. Well, it's on. If it's after episode 93, it's on our regular.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to that tonight.
And also, so I'm thinking about this. So, Phil, I obviously wasn't here in 2011 for the podcast, but you guys started in 2011, right?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
So that makes this the 10-year anniversary. So that means that we have to get a 10-year-old fucking single malt or triple malt, and we have to have a celebration with a nice 10-year.
Man, you scared me so much when you said we got to get a 10-year-old. No, you almost fucked me up right there.
Yeah.
Like that was a little too.
No. And on that note,
booze.
We can't do that.
Old booze, BOOZE, not OS or anything. Booze. Yeah. Alcohol.
Yeah, that's what I said. I like my bourbon like I like my girls 15 and mixed up with Coke. Can't do that. That's not cool, man. You'll end up on a special list. You'll get kicked off the Mandalorian and shit.
I just heard a really funny joke.
Oh,
what's the worst thing about eating a vegetable? The wheelchair gets in the way.
All right, guys. With that, please ride fast and take chances.
Press
the red button.